And we're seeing a brief delay there. It's slow from Roosevelt to 18. So 17 minutes downtown to 95th. Inbound, it's fine. There's no road construction to speak of. It's the only crash on one of the expressways. There's one on Rolling Meadows just off 53 on eastbound Euclid at 53. And starting today, downtown bridge work reduced Clark Street downtown to a single lane over the Chicago River. There are very few flight delays, almost none this morning at O'Hara Midway traffic service of Al Pamati Ford in Melrose Park. Stop before you buy your new car. You must visit Al Pamati Ford now. Truckloads of new cars and trucks have just arrived, and everything is priced to sell quickly. Al Pamati Ford is at 25th and North Avenue in Melrose Park. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business sense. 1935, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Some sun followed by clouds today, spotty drizzle. Late in the afternoon with a high 47. Areas of fog with occasional rain and drizzle tonight, low 42. Then patchy morning fog tomorrow, otherwise cloudy with a touch of rain, high of 50. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
24 at O'Hare, 30 along the lakefront, 29 at Midway. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, thanks for coming in. I saw you celebrating with Gisele Bündchen and Brady and the owner's suite last night, made it all the way back from Houston for the show. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you know what? I thought I saw you too down there.
I was with Arthur Blank.
Oh.
And I was wearing a three-piece suit like he was.
Yeah,
and
that was pretty cool.
We were ready to rush the field, and then something happened.
And then, yeah. But what a spectacular game. I mean, first overtime game for a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They end up winning, what was it, 28-9 in the fourth quarter? It was fantastic. Were you excited? Because I wanted the Pats to win so badly because of Tom Brady, because of his alleged campaign contributions to Donald Trump. Everybody's panties were all in a bunch at the party I was at, so I had to leave because everyone was cheering against Tom Brady because he likes Donald Trump.
What about Robert Kraft? Robert Kraft, friends with Donald Trump, a big supporter of Donald Trump's, and said, we talked about this last week in advance of the game. Donald Trump was there for Bob Kraft in the worst time of his life when his wife passed away, and he remembers.
Right. No, I'm just laughing because
what's funny about
it's
that?
not, but you try to tell those liberals.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they won't even listen. No, I'm not listening. They're so dense in the head that I'm to the point where I might move because I can't take it anymore. I don't know what's happened in my neighborhood, but yeah, they won't even listen. I said, no, but he was there. He helped him. He kept him busy so that he could grieve the loss of his wife. Nobody wants to hear that.
Now, Nate Silver's still predicting that the Atlanta Falcons have a 99% chance to be Super Bowl 51 champions. A lot of fun with that. Skip Bayless tweeted Atlanta Falcons are Super Bowl champions, and then something happened.
It's called the fourth quarter.
Even the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Piers Morgan. Morgan again.
What's he doing?
He's on it. This guy is on. Imagine being a Hillary supporting Atlanta Falcons fan who wanted Britain to stay in Europe.
That it should be retweeted by one Dan Proft. That's great.
I did, but I had a Cleveland Indians fan to that.
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine the size of the pea hat on a person that fits that description? So, yes, it was quite a game. And speaking of Tom Brady's relationship with Donald Trump, his friendship with Donald Trump, Bob Kraft's friendship with Donald Trump, but specifically Brady, the coach. He was on WABC radio in New York before the game end of last week, and he was asked about those people demanding that Tom Brady disassociate himself with respect to his friendship with Trump. Here's what the coach had to say.
What do you make, Iron Mike, Coach Ditka, of this crusade on the part of some sports journalists to get Tom Brady to denounce his friend Donald Trump?
Well, I think these people are, can I say this? That they're
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah.
A-holes.
I just said it.
And we agree.
Translate.
Yeah.
Now, when you don't have a choice anymore in our country and people disagree with my choice, fine. If I disagree with their great, fine. That's what made America great. There's going to be disagreement. I happen to support Donald Trump. I like Donald Trump. I think he's the best man, best qualified person. I think he'll do a great job for America. Now, there's a lot of people out there who don't think that. But we'll have to wait and see. Let him do his job first. If he can possibly screw it up nearly half as much as Obama, I'll be surprised.
How about
Ooh, drop Mike like Lady Gaga. Huh?
it? Yeah, how about that? That's that's what you would expect from the coach. How about this? Did you see this the Super Bowl message from Pope Francis?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, because
I
you
know.
need a Super Bowl message from the Pope.
That's your area.
Yeah.
You're in charge of all the Catholics.
I didn't know how
Even
to
the
feel
top
about
dog.
the Super Bowl prior to kickoff.
Uh-huh.
Thankfully, we had a papal message. May this year's Super Bowl be a sign of peace, friendship, and solidarity to the world. I think
Wow.
Pope Frank had a little unclear on the concept of football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want you to go out there in brotherhood and concuss each other like Jesus would. Peace, friendship, solidarity to the world. I don't.
Over the
That's
Super
not what
Bowl.
I
Yeah,
think
it's-
of when I think of two teams going to war. By the way, we're kind of winding down our Super Bowl, so we should enjoy this one. We're not going to have Super Bowls for very much longer. I've become convinced. I was a skeptic at first.
Oh, about football going and soccer is going to be replacing football.
Well, or many sports apparently. But then I went to a fundraiser for my grade school on Friday night.
Still trying to get back in, huh?
Yeah, get back in their good graces. Honoring two. You know what kind of school this is when I say this next thing. Honoring two teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Peggy Flynn, English teacher, Mr. Bill Cashin, gym teacher, who've been at St. Mike's and Wheaton for 45 years. Wow. 45 years.
That's great.
So you know it's not a public school.
Oh.
And by the way, I would take my 8th grade teacher, Mrs. Flynn, English teacher, and I would put her up against any English teacher at New Trier High School or just about any other high school. She's my grade school. High school in the state. I'd probably put her up against some English lit teachers at Northwestern. But I digress. I found out at this fundraiser, no junior varsity football team at St. Mike's.
Ooh.
Now, they're not discontinuing it.
Okay.
But there's not enough interest to field a 5th and 6th grade team. Now, if there is next year, they'll field a team. But little
Well, can they-
canary in the mine shaft.
So they play with pads? I mean, because we play 5th
Yeah.
and 6th grade flag football
Yeah.
at CPS. Yeah, I know it's yeah, we throw like girls too.
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we wear helmets and Wheaton, not pea hats. When we play football, I guess that's the difference.
Hey, did you watch the movie Concussion yet?
It's on
look
my
at
list.
The time. Oh yeah.
It's on my list.
How's that Christmas gift I gave you? Huh? Yeah.
I did watch Hidden Figures over the weekend. You'll be
okay.
happy to know.
Good.
Yeah,
Did you like
it
it?
was quite good.
I watched A Dog's Purpose and I'm still crying. Oh, can I tell you something real quick about that movie?
Please.
The dog gets shot, and of course it's a Chicago dog.
Oh, thanks. Of course. Was the dog in a gang?
No, he was in the canine unit, and the dog, it was a dog homicide.
Uh-huh.
Because everybody in the theater like, oh, of course it's Chicago, and they had something else with the homicide.
The only thing I would say about I have one. I mean, that's an interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
Now I don't have to watch that. The one thing about Hidden Figures, I will say, I thought it was a little bit derivative when Kevin Costner says at the end, "Hey, Mary Jackson, want to have a catch?"
Oh,
I thought that was. I've seen that before. It was
yeah.
unnecessary.
Uh-huh.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What commercials hit and missed the mark during the Super Bowl? And how about Lady Gaga? Wow, that was spectacular. But first, here's your forecast. Dan's still going over the halftime footage. Some sun today and clouds, spotty drizzle in the late afternoon, but really warm, a high of 47 degrees. And then tomorrow, considerable cloudiness, but it's going to be hot, a high of 50 degrees. Let's get those travel times and go into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. The outbound Ryan traffic is stop and go from Roosevelt to 18th Street. A crash there. 2 right lanes are blocked, and the exit to 18th is blocked as well. 18 minutes from downtown to 95th. Inbound 17, it's slow from Cermak to 18th. The other expressways and tollways are still looking good. There are almost no flight delays to report. Starting today, this morning at 9, the Clark Street Bridge over the Chicago River downtown will be down to a single lane and one single sidewalk until August. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hi, Amy Jacobson here. You know, the best home improvement decision I ever made was to call CertaPro Painters. No joke. Last spring, their trained, talented painters magically reformed my porch. Property values actually went up. But now that winter is set in, let's get your interior painting done, and CertaPro Painters are the only ones to call. You know, CertaPro Painters is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, and we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. When they come into your home, they are so quiet they won't wake a baby, and guess what? The best part is they clean up after themselves. So with this new year, you should refresh and renew your living space. Book your interior painting project today. For a free estimate, call our good friends over there at CertaPro at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com. And we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. I'm glad I called them. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage and Reverse Mortgage Specialist. Reverse mortgages are outstanding for eliminating mortgage payments and providing borrowers with tax-free income. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau recently fined AAG $400,000 for deceptive reverse mortgage ads. When choosing a reverse mortgage lender, you can either call into a call center promoted by highly paid, unlicensed actors like Tom Selleck, Pat Boone, and Henry Winkler, who have never originated a reverse mortgage, or you could call me, a licensed reverse mortgage expert who's actually originated reverse mortgages. The biggest difference between me, Tom, Pat, and Henry is they get paid to read teleprompters making reverse mortgage commercials, and I get compensated after your reverse mortgage closes. If you'd like information about reverse mortgages from a local reverse mortgage expert, give me a call at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage license T4358, NMLS 19186. These materials are not from HUD or FHA and were not approved by HUD or a government agency.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy,
She's still
Lady
singing.
Gaga.
She's still singing. She must have dropped 40 pounds for that halftime show. She looked great.
40 pounds? What are you talking
Wait, she
about?
was big. There was a point in time when she was big, but she was spectacular last night. And she came in from the ceiling like I predicted, huh?
Yeah, it was weird. First of all, I thought she was going to jump initially.
So-
I was like, you have so much to live for. But then when she descended, she descended like a spider. Like she was going to sit down next to Little Miss Muffin. Yeah. It was weird.
Oh, it's spectacular.
And I do have, by the way,
Yes.
I have that trapezoid coat that that jacket that her dancer
Oh, yeah,
was
you're wearing it today.
I have that exact one.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That was good.
The halftime show was fun. One other thing, just on the game, one thing that I didn't like that also should have gone to sudden death.
What?
Did you see that there was a tie for NFL Man of the Year between Eli Manning and Larry Fitzgerald?
That was strange.
How do you tie?
You have to have one winner and the other one, because if you're not first, you're last. I mean, really, I don't know. And they didn't seem comfortable standing next to each other. Like, I got to share this thing with this guy?
By the way, here's our Duke bet, our usual Duke Brothers bet on the game. Here's the $1 I owe you because I took the Falcons plus the points.
Yeah, you did.
Unfortunately, it looked pretty good for most of the game.
Yeah, up until the last.
And then it didn't.
Last quarter. Last quarters are important. Oh, Super Bowl. Okay, it started off with George H.W. Bush. Did you see him with Babs and the Pearl?
President Bush, Mrs. Bush, we're honored that you could join us for the coin toss. Captain, congratulations on earning the opportunity to play in Super Bowl 51. This is the coin that we'll be using for the toss. The Super Bowl logo is.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, then what happened? It was he kind of fumbled on the coin toss.
It was a coin drop. More than a coin toss, exactly. But, you know.
Winner Atlanta. Yeah, but it was great to see him. They got a rousing ovation. Of course, they're from Houston. It was a big deal, and that's why he tried to get out of the hospital a little sooner than planned so that he could be there. I got the chills when I saw him. I thought this could be his last public appearance.
Wow.
Yeah, I got the death clock going. He didn't look good.
It's
sorry.
a little bit macabre, isn't it? I mean, especially a celebratory atmosphere of the Super Bowl. Is the halftime show? I just have to say something about Lady Gaga. You know, it was tolerable, other than the music.
Tolerable. It was. She is so talented.
Yeah.
That was a get off your couch and start dancing halftime show.
Oh yeah, that was rousing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rousing.
It was.
But did you catch this? Because you're a child of. Well, I mean, you were like a.
Easy. I'm 82 years old.
You're what, early 40s in the 80s, but you lived through the 80s and
Yeah,
you remember the music. Did she not look like Pia Zadora in the Jermaine Jackson classic When the Rain Begins to Fall? Do you remember that? You remember it.
And when the rain begins to fall, you're on my rainbow in the sky.
Oh my God!
And it was like this
remember
dystopian,
that.
you know, where they were on motorcycles and. That's what it immediately came to mind.
Okay. Yeah. No, that didn't come to my mind. It reminded me a little bit of mix between Madonna and. I'm just surprised they haven't had her perform earlier. Why we had to wait so long to see such talent at a halftime show.
Yeah. The commercials you enjoyed the most, or a commercial you enjoyed the most, you enjoyed the least, 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line, because for the first 2.5 quarters, it was really about the commercials because the game appeared to be a blowout until it wasn't.
Yeah, well, the one that bothered me was the Audi car commercial. You know, is the
yes.
gender equality, the wage gap, the feminist propaganda piece. This poor little girl, she's not going to have the same life because she doesn't have a certain organ.
What do I tell my daughter? Do I tell her that her grandpa's worth more than her grandma? That her dad is worth more than her mom? Do I tell her that despite her education, her drive, her skills, her intelligence, she will automatically be valued as less than every man she ever meets? Or maybe
I'll buy her now.
I'll be able to tell her something different.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, this was like a soapbox derby, and she's like out racing the guys, you know.
She's the tomboy out there and out with them out on the track. But, you know.
Surprising that they can run a car company and not understand Economics 101, those PC sophists over at Audi. We talked about this at length many times, that when you start controlling for factors like longevity and consistency in the workplace, number of hours worked, all of the alleged discrimination essentially melts away. By the way, it's also worth noting, as some people did, Audi, the new champion of women's equity at work, has no women on their board.
Oh, that's awesome.
When we account for all the factors that go into pay, women at Audi are on par with their male counterparts. Of course, Mark Perry over at Carpe Diem blog, University of Michigan economist, has done great work analyzing this specious claim that has been repeated for Audi because they want to, you know, kind of get with the zeitgeist of the time.
Right, and the liberal media is celebrating this. Oh, this is wonderful. They're talking about the gender wage gap. But, I mean, I'm sick of businesses promoting products that are also pushing a political agenda. I mean, that failed. If you go on YouTube and watch it, they have more dislikes than likes. It's a ratio of 2 to 1. And there's a backlash, too, against Budweiser for the Coming to America piece.
Oh, the Eberhard Anheuser.
Oh, yeah. So that, and for Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola did sing America the Beautiful in 4 different languages. I don't know if you want to hear it, but I have a Coca-Cola
all
for you.
4.
So beautiful for spacious skies.
That's English.
Spanish.
Where's Slovak? I want to hear Slovak.
roast me.
Nah, a little pitchy. Yeah, we get it. The Coke thing's not offensive. It's just like have a Coke and a smile. Can't buy the world a
Right.
Coke. It's just a.
And Coke products are sold all around the world.
Oh,
but...
it's just another iteration of that. But I'll tell you another ad I did like.
Oh,
I
which
liked.
one? Oh, the Cam Newton.
No.
Oh, when he
Well, that
played
was okay.
quarterback, that was funny. That was a Buick commercial.
This is one of these below the fold situations, the Humane Society. Like what you think when you think Humane Society versus what the Humane Society actually is. And there's a group that aims to set the record straight in the Humane Society based on what they actually do, not what they propagandize they do to raise cash. Listen to this setting the record straight in the Humane Society spot.
Every day, thousands of lawyers and lobbyists around the country find themselves out of work and unemployed. These lawyers don't have a vacation home. For just $19 a month, you can join the Humane Society of the United States in our fight to hire more lawyers. People often think that we run pet shelters, but that simply isn't true. We don't run a single one, and we only give 1% of your money to pet shelters. Our real goal is to get the government to pass laws that eliminate farms with animals. We're basically PETA, with suits and deodorant. Your $19 a month will help us hire even more lawyers and lobbyists. Our massive fundraising operation collected $130 million last year. But we need more. If these lawyers could talk, they'd tell you they desperately need you to help them right now.
Great parody spot. You see one lawyer with his head on a pillow, and she's petting the lawyer. It turns out the Humane Society is to animal shelters what Planned Parenthood is to prenatal care. And most people don't know it.
No.
You think, and this is why you got to get to these left-wing organizations before they are able to, brand themselves in these heroic terms and become a mainstay like Humane Society or Planned Parenthood because of the cash they generate from the ignorant. So now you know about Humane Society.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Remember the old song, Love and Marriage, go together like a horse and carriage? Dad was told by Mother, you can't have one without the other. That's the message that Scott Phelps, Executive Director of the Abstinence and Marriage Education Partnership, brings to students in schools across the country. Using 5 character-based abstinence education programs which he authored, Mr. Phelps conducts training seminars nationally for parents and teachers to effectively communicate the benefits of abstinence in marriage to youth. A&M programs have reached over 1.5 million teens across all 50 states. Join Catholic Citizens of Illinois at the Union League Club on February 10th for the monthly Forum Luncheon featuring Scott Phelps. Invite parents and teachers to attend this inspiring presentation with you. For more information, go to CatholicCitizens.org or call Maureen at 708-352-5834. That's 708-352-5834.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Will you be participating in the general strike against Trump on February 17th at 5:38?
And how the world is responding to the battle of the ban. But first, into the newsroom we go. Good Monday morning to the one and only Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Outside we have 25 degrees. 2 states this morning are urging a federal appeals justice not to lift a stay on President Trump's and his administration's travel restrictions. Attorneys for Washington and Minnesota submitted written arguments to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco overnight.
President Trump has made it clear. He's going to put the safety and security of the American people first.
Vice President Mike Pence last night at the Super Bowl. Nearly 100 tech firms, including giants of the industry, are joining the legal fight against the travel restrictions. 97 tech companies, including Apple and Microsoft, filed a joint court brief opposing the new rules. U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein argues President Trump's ban, as she calls it, is unconstitutional.
The federal court has a right to make a judgment whether a law or an order is lawful and constitutional, and that process has begun.
Lawyers have until late this evening to file more legal paperwork regarding that that travel restriction. The Kremlin demanding an apology from Fox News this morning, claiming host Bill O'Reilly made unacceptable comments in his interview with President Donald Trump that aired before the Super Bowl. O'Reilly called Russian President Vladimir Putin a killer. Meantime, the president is wrapping up a weekend stay at his Palm Beach estate, the Winter White House, as the president and First Lady spent the weekend at Mar-a-Lago. He will then attend a CENTCOM briefing later today, that after attending a Red Cross fundraiser Saturday night. Queen Elizabeth II has become the first British monarch to reach the milestone of 65 years on the throne. Today's Sapphire Jubilee is being marked by cannon salutes at the Tower of London. A dog food company trying to figure out how a potentially dangerous drug ended up in a batch of its product. 5 dogs have been sickened. 1 has died. Evanger's Dog and Cat Food, that's EVANGERS, recalling some 12-ounce cans of hunk of beef after the barbiturate phenobarbital was detected in a lot of that product. Gun violence continues to plague Chicago. 2 young teens killed, 10 others wounded by gunshots over the weekend. A Roselle man facing charges for allegedly leaving a bomb at an Airbnb residence. Michael DeBrown was renting a room on the west side and apparently wasn't getting along with his host. And the Anti-Defamation League this morning offering a reward for information about whoever vandalized the Chicago Loop Synagogue over the weekend. Bulls back in action tonight visiting Sacramento. Jimmy Butler did not practice yesterday. Highly questionable for tonight's game. Patriots beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl. The news is service of Hum by Verizon. Is your check engine light on? Hum by Verizon can tell you why, so you can fix small problems before they become big ones. Find out how to make your car smarter, safer, and more connected with Hum by Verizon. Visit hum.com today. 534. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells the left to keep quiet.
We keep hearing about what we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. That's become the left's mantra all of a sudden. I love them telling us who we are. You know who we are? We're a country that elected the person you didn't want to win. Who we are is not who you wanted us to be.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
There are 2 kinds of pain. Pain that goes away and the worst kind, chronic pain. If you suffer from chronic pain, life is not complete and it can be miserable. Unfortunately, most people use narcotics that mask the pain. You need to find the source of the chronic pain and get relief.
This is Dr. Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. We're serious players in the management of pain, and our team are national leaders, as well as being educators in the treatment of pain. We will work with you to diminish or eliminate your pain and help you get your life back. You know, there's a nationwide narcotics epidemic, and people are too quick to mask over chronic pain instead of looking for the cause and treating or eliminating the pain. Contact us. We will help you.
Go to mypainchicago.com. Call and make an appointment with some of the best pain people in the nation, located here in Chicago. mypainchicago.com. You or someone you know suffers. End the suffering of chronic pain. mypainchicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
Get ready, Chicagoland. Rid yourself of those cold weather winter blues and get to the 6th Annual Tinley Park Golf Expo at the Tinley Park Convention Center February 10th through 12th. This event is a golf enthusiast dream come true and will warm you up fast with great opportunities to get your golf game ready for spring. Don't worry, it'll be here before you know it. Check out amazing deals on golf courses, resorts, equipment, and apparel, and demo the newest equipment from golf's major manufacturers. Plus, get free lessons from local PGA professionals. Try your luck with daily contests and skills challenges for fantastic prizes. Plus, enter to win the grand prize, your very own Pro X Plus indoor golf simulator. Mark your calendars for Friday through Sunday, February 10th through 12th, the 6th Annual Tinley Park Golf Expo at the Tinley Park Convention Center in Tinley Park. For more information, visit northernillinoisgolfexpo.com. That's northernillinoisgolfexpo.com. Tickets are available in advance on the website, northernillinoisgolfexpo.com.
5:37, so Jim Talamonte, apparently we missed the big meteor this morning. That went across the western skyline, seen by, right now, approximately 4,000 people, they say. Wow. In our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, Jim, no meteors traveling on the roads this morning.
No, we do have some problems on the Ryan Expressway. Like the inbound side is jammed from Pershing to the Stevenson, where a crash just cleared. It was right where the express and the local lanes meet. It's been cleared to Canalport. 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. And outbound 25, jammed from the Circle to 18th, where a crash is 2 right lanes blocked, along with the exit to 18th. The Edens and the Kennedy are fine. The Eisenhower 2, inbound Stevenson, seeing some scattered delays now. It's about 39 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 44, jammed from the Tri-State 84-83 with a crash in the center lane. And traffic is a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. Westin knows how disruptive travel can be to your well-being. The rejuvenating Heavenly Beds, a nutritious Superfoods RX menu, and gear lending for when you leave your workout gear at home, Westin will help you stay in control and rise above it all. Westin, let's rise. Learn more at westin.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Sun this morning, clouds this afternoon. We'll crank up the spotty drizzle late in the day and a high of 47. Currently 24 at O'Hare. 30 at the lakefront. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You want to play your Tom Brady song, The Rip on the Chainsmokers?
So great, because Tom Brady, he is football god now. What, 5 Super Bowl rings? And he's hot, and everybody knows it. Just admit it. Oh, he's good looking. So, yeah, this is played over and over again in Boston.
They never have time to intercept you. Gronk is out, and that's an issue. Be okay. The offense, it was nice this weekend, and I know we can win it all again.
Sounds like Stripling.
I know you miss 4 stars, prove that you're greedy, not a broke down starring.
It's good, ready?
Full rings, no flaws, still in hooking pretty model Giselle's bra, and I Chantal. Yeah,
so great. You get the chills?
Chantal.
Now, here, wait.
So Brady, pull me closer to more Super Bowl exposure. Raise that MVP award while you're hoisted on our shoulders. Throw that pass that beats the corner off that pump fake that you sold to your teammate Amendola. TD Edelman, it's over.
And did you see the catch Edelman had last night, too? All right, now here's the gender equality. I have to play the girls' side of it. Ready?
Hey.
No?
Let's all sing Tom Brady's new song while we celebrate Houston. Okay. You know the stakes are large. Move the ball quickly, get those first down yards in. 4 rings, 1 more. Nice sitting pretty on your way to the hall. And
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. I have 2 reactions to this. One is I hope the Chainsmokers and Halsey sue these individuals for copyright infringement.
Oh, it was all over the radio in Boston and in New Hampshire, obviously.
And number 2, it's pretty good because they both can sing, but it's not as good as the Adele "Hello" period about food. It's not that good, but it's pretty good. That is pretty good. Yes. All right, moving on. We've got to get to some politics, but kind of a busy weekend, particularly with federal and appellate courts weighing in on Trump's executive order that provided a temporary travel ban to individuals from 7 majority Muslim countries. Federal district court judge enjoined the implementation of that temporary travel ban. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals declined to take it up, so the Department of Justice is appealing the district court's holding to the Supreme Court. That is a pending issue. But Trump's Twitter account, not a pending issue.
No.
He tweeted in response to Judge, what's the federal judge? Hobart's, I think it's.
He wears a
Robart.
spiffy bow tie there.
Yeah. he
hold on.
tweeted, just cannot believe a judge would put our country in such peril. If something happens, blame him and the court system. People pouring in bad ! James Robart, who is a George W. Bush appointee, was the U.S. District Court judge in question. Not that, the whole, he's a W. Bush appointee. So what? So is John Roberts.
Right. Well, so what happens today then? Because the Trump team needs to indicate or show that there's an actual problem with the current vetting process. Is that what's going to have to happen?
No. They don't have no. They have to demonstrate that argue that the President of the United States has the authority to do what Donald Trump did, both constitutionally and statutorily, which the President of the United States does. And Mike Pence was on Meet the Press yesterday, and he had this to say about the order.
We're very confident the president's operating within his authority as president, both under the Constitution and under clear statutory law. That's what's so frustrating about the decision.
And in response to the criticism of the administration with respect to the implementation, Pence said this.
It was not done hastily. There may have been some leaders on Capitol Hill that were not informed in the usual niceties of Washington, D.C. But look, we live in a very dangerous world.
Right. So is it smart, though? Is it judicious? Is it prudent to bash a judge on Twitter?
I'm glad you asked.
Calling him bad?
Mike Pence has a response to that,
he
too.
does? Good.
Yeah, you and Chuck Todd are on the same wavelength.
Well, look, the President of the United States has every right to criticize the other two branches of government, and we have a long tradition of that in this country.
But is this a constructive way to do it?
I think people find it very refreshing.
Yeah.
Do you find it refreshing? 312-642-5600. I mean, is Trump attacking this problem correctly? I mean, is this judge putting our national security in peril? Dan, do you think? I mean, because a lot of people, once they knew that there was a temporary ban on the travel ban, they booked their tickets right away.
Yeah,
because United and American, they couldn't stop people from boarding the planes, and people saw this as an opening, so they changed, and now they're here.
Yeah, they were encouraged to do so as well. Here's the thing. Mike Pence addressed the basis for the 7 countries that were so identified for this temporary travel ban.
The issue is these are countries that do not have the internal systems in place so that we can be confident today that when people present themselves for access to the United States, that they are who they say they are. Now, there's a 30-day review underway.
Yeah. So the answer to your question about is there a safety risk? Yes, there is a safety risk. And again, these 7 countries that were identified by the previous administration, and it prompted statutory action by President Obama. And so the issue, why these 7 and not the other 40-odd majority Muslim countries in the world, is because exactly what Mike Pence just said. I can only go based on what intelligence is saying and what they're saying, but it crosses partisan boundaries because you have agreement among the last 2 administrations about these 7 countries. They don't have systems in place that inspire confidence that the people who are coming here from those countries are identified as the people they actually are. So this is so controversial. Department of Homeland Security, by the way, did issue a statement in response to the judge's ruling saying that they have suspended any and all actions implementing the affected sections of the executive order. This includes actions to suspend passenger system rules that flag travelers for operational action subject to the executive order. They'll go back to standard policy and procedure pre-order. And the Department of Justice, according to Homeland Security, which we know, intends to file an emergency stay and defend the president's executive order. So they're complying with the federal courts. By the way, you'll distinguish that from President Obama with DACA when he was enjoined by a federal court in Texas from continuing with DACA. That did not inhibit it in any way. So that's kind of where it's at. And the response, of course, to this is from the left is, well, here we're going to have A-hole day, February 12th outside Trump Tower.
Oh, that's right.
People are going to moon Trump Tower.
It's the moon.
Yeah, A-hole day.
Stop it.
The greatest gathering of A-holes in Chicago since, the 96 Democrat convention here?
I can't wait to see what Democrats show up for that.
And then there's this. How about this? How about a general strike planned for February 17th? That's a week of the 12th through the 17th is going to be might busy. Again, this is social media generated. 24-hour occupation of public space in protest of the Trump administration's refusal to honor the Constitution of the United States of America. This is a general strike being called for. 23,000 interested, 14,000 committed to attending across the country so far. Here are the demands of the strike. I know you'd want to know.
Yes, please. Can I write this down too?
No ban, no wall. The Muslim ban is immoral. The wall is expensive and ineffectual. We will build bridges, not walls.
Oh, there you go.
Wouldn't bridges be expensive too? Healthcare for all. Healthcare is a human right. Don't repeal Obamacare. No pipelines. And the global gag rule. Yeah, this is the abortion funding. Disclose and divest, shows your taxes, sell your company. This is to Trump, obviously, and so forth. So those are their five demands, their general strike. So, the nice thing about the general strike is you think I make or buy this big P hat for the march in D.C., and I'm only going to use it once, like a prom dress. And now you got your a-hole convention.
Right. You can wear it for that. We drop your pants, but have that on your head.
That's right. And you got your general strike. I mean, it turns out you're going to get a lot of use out of the P hat.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 15-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 10,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223.
Mike Rowe here for 1 hour. Today, Chuck is jogging in place to make a point about energy efficiency.
I thought I was training for a marathon.
He's been at it now for...
3 minutes.
And already he's wearing out.
I'm not.
Your heating and air conditioning systems are a lot like Chuck.
Warm yet somehow cool?
Wheezing, wasting energy, and probably headed for replacement.
You're talking about the air systems, right?
Sure, pal. Sure. Call 1 hour before it's too late.
Can you do the disclaimer for me?
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Thanks.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 200 plus job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 200 plus job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/start now. That's ZipRecruiter.com/start now.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity presented by Upstream-Ideas.com. Emerson contended that foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. So is politicized inconsistency. A useful comparison presented itself with Trump's nomination of Judge Neil Gorsuch the same week the fires of intolerance literally burned on the campus of UC Berkeley. Gorsuch noted that if confirmed, he would occupy the seat held by both Justices Antonin Scalia and Robert Jackson. His inclusion of the underappreciated Jackson was telling. In the seminal case of West Virginia State Board of Ed v. Barnett, arguing that compulsory unification of opinion achieves only the unanimity of the graveyard, Jackson held that students didn't have to salute the American flag or recite the pledge, and thereby protected the religious liberty rights of Jehovah's Witnesses. Gorsuch's jurisprudence has been similarly enlightened, consistently protecting the religious liberty rights of those ranging from Little Sisters of the Poor to an imprisoned Muslim man convicted of rape. Contrast that with the scene at Berkeley, the birthplace and now resting place of the campus free speech movement. Students committed acts of violence because they were intent on silencing a conservative speaker. Shall America chart her course with big thinkers like Gorsuch or Berkeley's small-minded hobgoblins?
Mike Gallagher tells the left to keep quiet.
We keep hearing about what we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. That's become the left's mantra all of a sudden. I love them telling us who we are. You know who we are? We're a country that elected the person you didn't want to win. Who we are is not who you wanted us to be.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Hey, are you thinking about the IRS right now? Man, if the IRS is coming after you, your IRS problem is there day and night. You need help to fight the IRS. I recommend you call my very good friend, Attorney Stephen Leahy of Open Tax Resolutions. Hey, he's got a special offer going on right now. If you're not certain about your position with the IRS, he will pull your personal IRS transcripts and find out exactly where you stand for free. Find out where you stand. If you owe back taxes, if you have unfiled returns. Hey, if you're afraid of the IRS, call my friend Steve Leahy now. 312-664-6649. Steve's the host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard every Sunday at 5 right here on AM 560. He's also a really good friend of mine, and I don't know of anybody better in dealing with the IRS. Call him now. Steve Leahy, 312-664-6649. That's 312-664-6649.
The U.S. economy has been getting stronger, and home values have been increasing. This good economic news presents a unique financial opportunity for you. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Many of our clients have been taking cash out of their homes, a strategy that might work for you. The smart move is to refinance your mortgage right now with Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.18%, APR 4.35%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how much we can lower your mortgage payment. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Hi, this is Andy Bizup from Midwest Performance Cars. We want to be a part of making 2017 your best year for auto service. Experience our transparent repair process with pictures and video to clearly show you what's going on with your car. One-on-one personalized attention you won't get anywhere else. And the Midwest Performance Cars 3-year, 100,000-mile warranty is the best in the business, period. You'll get expert trained technicians taking care of your European vehicle and treating it like their own. We regularly get customers from other shops and dealerships that can't diagnose or repair their vehicle. And at Midwest Performance Cars, your convenience is our priority. Eliminate the hassle of the usual repair ordeal while your car receives the best care. The drop-off process takes less than 5 minutes, and complimentary Uber and Lyft service take you wherever you need to be. Call Midwest Performance Cars today at 312-432-9492 or book online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com.
5:56. Let's get an update on the roads at this hour. Jim Talamonte is in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Had some problems on the Ryan and the Stevenson. The Stevenson outbound is jammed. LaGrange Road to be 483 with a crash blocking 2 left lanes. The big jam, 55 minutes. Lakeshore Drive to 355. Inbound 47 minutes with scattered slowdowns. Then there's the Ryan. An earlier inbound crash right where the express lanes and locals come together near the Stevenson. That one's cleared, but the delays start around 47th. 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound, it's 22 minutes. Crash at 18th, blocking 2 right lanes and the exit ramp. Traffic is a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast? If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to lifelock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after Fox News, but first, your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Some sun followed by clouds today, spotty drizzle late in the afternoon with a high 47. Areas of fog with occasional rain and drizzle tonight, low 42. Then patchy morning fog tomorrow, otherwise cloudy with a touch of rain, high of 50. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
25 at O'Hare and 30 along Chicago's lakefront. At 5:58, here are the stories we're following this hour on AM 560, The Answer. Two states this morning are urging a federal appeals court not to lift a stay on President Trump and his administration's travel restrictions. Fox News with the latest on that story in just a moment. Gun violence continues to plague the city of Chicago. 2 young teens were killed, 10 others wounded by gunshots over the weekend. A Roselle man facing charges for allegedly leaving a bomb at an Airbnb in Chicago. Police say Michael DeBrown was renting a room on the west side and wasn't getting along with his host. One of the homeowners found a pipe bomb in that man's room. A retired Chicago police officer facing charges this morning for the alleged murder of his wife. Lauren Volberding was arrested Friday. His wife, Elizabeth, also a retired Chicago police officer, was found dead with a gunshot wound to her neck in the couple's home in Spring Grove on Friday. Bulls are back in action tonight visiting the Sacramento Kings. Blackhawks have a few more days off until they hit the ice at front-running Minnesota. And the Patriots are champions for a 5th time, erasing a 25-point deficit on their way to an overtime victory over the Falcons. Fox News is next. WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Pats fans are wicked happy.
Super Bowl champs, baby!
From Houston to Boston.
We've had screams, we've had high fives, we've had everything.
They'll have a parade there tomorrow celebrating New England's Super Bowl win.
It's exactly the way we didn't plan it.
Because it took a record comeback and then overtime for quarterback Tom Brady, leading the Patriots past the Atlanta Falcons 34-28. Fox's Jared Max was there, now live in Houston.
Dave, it took 51 Super Bowls to get here, but one finally needed overtime to decide a winner. The Falcons appeared primed to deliver Atlanta its first major pro sports title outside of baseball's Braves. They led the Patriots 28-3 with just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And then Patriots quarterback Tom Brady led his team to score the next 31 points. James White's 1-yard run with 57 seconds left in regulation, combined with the 2-point conversion, tied the score at 28. Patriots got the ball first in overtime and scored a touchdown to win it, 34-28. Brady, the most valuable player, his 5th Super Bowl title, but a loss for Tom, too. His jersey went missing after the game. He left the stadium and said, "You'll probably see it on eBay." Team owner Robert Kraft called this title unequivocally the Patriots' best. Jared Max, Fox News.
The Justice Department's on deadline today to file briefs trying to overturn a judge's order blocking President Trump's travel executive order. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Trump administration has until this afternoon to make its case in an appeals court in San Francisco. California Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein told Fox News Sunday she expects this to go to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Some judgments will be made whether this president has exceeded his authority or not.
Vice President Mike Pence argued
the president has the ability to determine who has access to this country.
President Trump has called the Seattle judge who imposed a temporary restraining order a so-called judge. Dave.
Rachel, today the president will go to MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, headquarters for the U.S. Central Command. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
A new president has taken office, and now he must get to work. What will President Trump accomplish in his first 100 days? What should his priorities be? Join AM 560 for an exciting evening on Wednesday, March 22nd. It's Trump, the first 100 days, featuring Sean Hannity, Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, and Joe Walsh. See them all live at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/Trump. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group.
The U.S. economy has been getting stronger, and home values have been increasing. This good economic news presents a unique financial opportunity for you. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Many of our clients have been taking cash out of their homes, a strategy that might work for you. The smart move is to refinance your mortgage right now with Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.18%, APR 4.35%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how much we can lower your mortgage payment. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, let's get right to it because I was sparring all afternoon prior to kickoff on social media over this interview that Trump gave to O'Reilly that was taped and broadcast just before, about an hour before kickoff or so, hour and a half. And let's hash it out on the airwaves here. Trump and O'Reilly on the question of Vlad Putin. Riley pressing Trump on his characterization of Putin and Trump characterizing the United States in comparison to Putin.
Do you respect Putin?
I do respect him.
Do you?
But
Why?
Well, I respect a lot of people, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get along with him. He's a leader of his country. I say it's better to get along with Russia than not. And if Russia helps us in the fight against ISIS, which is a major fight, and Islamic terrorism all over the world,
right?
Major fight, that's a good thing. Will I get along with him? I have no idea.
He's a killer, though. Putin's a killer.
A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent? You think our country's so innocent?
I don't know of any government leaders that are killers in America.
Well, take a look at what we've done, too. We've made a lot of mistakes. I've been against the war in Iraq from the beginning.
Yeah, mistakes are different than...
A lot of mistakes, okay, but a lot of people were killed. So a lot of killers around, believe me.
And I played that whole hunk. So, because one of the arguments people, I want to see the context, because that exchange was previewed all afternoon, as you know, Amy.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to see the full context. So there's the full context of what he said. So what about that? What about the comparison, and that's effectively what it was, of the United States, whatever our sins, to a KGB despot? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
You can't attach the historical ramifications of what happened in America to a murderous dictator. They're too, I don't know. I mean, his love for Putin is just, it's beyond my comprehension. I don't understand why he can't just call him what he is, a murderous dictator.
Let me ask.
I don't understand. And then we keep relitigating this over and over again. I understand that he wants to work with Putin to defeat ISIS. Great. You know, he's got great intentions. Bad decision, though, and complimenting Putin. Well, and denigrating America. I mean, saying that's the problem. I mean, he's supposed to be this patriot. Is that a patriotic comment coming from his mouth?
That's the key to me. There's two separate issues, and most of the people trying to defend Trump are focused on how he should engage Putin and that there's no utility in attacking Putin, name-calling, characterizing Putin. That's a separate issue. My issue, it's an issue. It's a legitimate issue, but it's a separate one. But the crux of my problem with that statement is the portion where he talks about our country. And he said, okay, this is black and white. This is what he said. O'Reilly asks him, he engages the exchange on Putin. And O'Reilly says, but he's a killer, though. Putin's a killer. Trump, There are a lot of killers. We've got a lot of killers. What do you think? Our country's so innocent. Is that American exceptionalism? Is that a statement of American exceptionalism? Let me ask us another way to those that are going to knee-jerk defend Trump, because there's no defense to that statement. That is indefensible inanity to compare our country, to compare the United States of America to Vlad Putin. And that's unfortunately what Donald Trump chose to do. He chose to do it. Nobody made him do it. Nobody walked him into an ambush. He chose to make that comparison. And, one other thing real quick. The whole don't take Trump literally but take him seriously, that has limitations. That has limitations. And one of the limitations is comparing the United States of America to a KGB despot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with respect to Putin, that is a separate issue to say, does he have to call him a murderer? Does he have to call him a killer? Can we constructively engage Russia for our interests? Yes. But if President Obama had said what Donald Trump's...
Oh, my gosh.
If President Obama had said what Donald Trump said, with those who are coming up, doing all kinds of contortions to come up with a rationale to defend that statement Trump made, would they be doing the same for Obama? Because here's what I like to do. I like to try and identify a standard and then hold everybody to it, rather than going off a cliff with a particular politician. Look, am I happy Trump defeated Hillary Clinton? I am. Do I like most of the personnel and policy decisions Trump has made as president of the United States? I do. Does that mean that he gets a free pass and whatever he does is received wisdom from on high? Whatever he says is just the right thing to say? It's master manipulation, master persuasion. It's by definition helpful in advancing our country's interests because Trump said it? No. Well, I'm not. We decried demagoguery for the past 8 years. I'm not going to change the standard for demagoguery when Trump is the perpetrator. Your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, what do you think he should do now? Should he come out and apologize?
Trump
does America need an apology from Donald Trump?
Yeah,
just how do you handle this situation? Because clearly he stepped in it, and now how do you right the
wrong? A lot
of
people don't think he did, and he was probably one of them. I mean, here's the thing. It's just so easy to not go where Trump went. It's so easy to say, look, this is geopolitics. We are going to deal with people who are not members of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Okay, you're going to deal with a lot of rogue individuals and a lot of people who don't share our values and in terms of how they lord over their countries. But my interest is working constructively where I can to advance America's interests in the world. Period. Full stop. You don't have to get into taking O'Reilly, demanding that you use the same characterization O'Reilly did. But you do, I think, and it's easy enough to make a general statement about having to work with people that are going to be difficult to work with, that you otherwise, wouldn't have a beer with, that you don't necessarily agree with in terms of their policy choices, their repressive tactics. It's easy to make a general statement and not create this firestorm that Trump has created, although it's tamped down by the Super Bowl, but nonetheless,
but still,
getting back into the real world.
I mean, how low is he going to go to defend the Russian leader? I mean, what's next? He can't go any lower.
I mean, his approach rhetorically on Putin has been troubling, but what he said about our country so innocent, ? I'll hear defenses. Candace in DuPage, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hold on, let's see.
Are you
there?
You
go. Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, Candace.
I'm not going to defend the statement because I was disgusted by it as well. But I'm surprised that he didn't use a different analogy because I don't think that one was apples to apples. Like, how about Hillary and Benghazi? Yeah, that was pretty bad. And when Obama got in, he did go on an apology tour, but even that didn't take it that far. So I think the pundits are going to be going crazy today, especially the Never Trumpers.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Candace. I mean, and here's the thing. This is not to say the left media or left polls have any standing to comment on this, because they're the ones who have situational ethics. They're the ones who rationalized Obama's apology tour, as Candace termed it, and others correctly. And now they're decrying Trump for denigrating America. All they do is denigrate America. So I'm not giving quarter to them either. What I'm saying is, let's not have the same situational ethics of the left. My interests change, so my morals change. That's the province of the left. Right. You want to adopt that as a Trump supporter? I don't think you do.
But he made it sound, that we do the same thing that Putin does. Putin has a long list of critics who've ended up dead and a long list of journalists who were killed in Russia. He made it sound like that's what we do here in America. And that is not what we do.
Not to mention imprisoned punk rock bands.
Oh, there you go. Outrage.
James on the south side.
Hello.
Hey, James.
Good morning. Yes, I just wanted to say that Trump is playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers.
Uh-huh.
And that comment that he made, I don't think it was so much as trying to win Putin over as it was to be able to say that whoever wins the war pretty much writes history. People would argue that America was founded on that type of tyranny, to what they did to the Indians in taking the country in the first place. The Indians opened up their doors for peace. America pretty much took their land and gave them some casinos.
Yeah, that's your thanks for the call, James. Unfortunately, your understanding of history is about as good as Donald Trump's, which is to say it's not. What your characterization of the founding of our country, your characterization of the Indians, we took the land from the Indians and gave them casinos. That's a Trumpian kind of statement. It's silly. This is kind of a conversation for adults. So if you don't know what you're talking about, then talk amongst yourselves. Don't waste our airtime. Mike in Melrose Park.
Hi, good morning. I'd like to believe that what I'm going to say is right, and it seems that Donald Trump is always a couple of steps ahead. He's always, like that last guy said, playing chess. You know what? Maybe he's just blowing warm air in Putin's ear to gain cooperation as we go down the road. Whereas, Obama had no cooperation from him. Whether it's true or not, that's what I'd like to believe.
Well, okay, but Mike, there's one thing to talk about what he's trying to do vis-a-vis Putin. There's another thing to say, what do you think our country's so innocent in comparison to Putin? Is that fair?
Well, okay. I take your point.
All right. Thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate it. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
There's good Trump and there's bad Trump. And the beautiful thing about Trump is that in 3 days, something else outrageous, crazy will happen, and then we'll forget about this. It's just moving from one fire to another fire to another fire. And when it's outrageous and indefensible like this was, in my view, I'll turn off the TV for the next 3 days. I won't watch anything. And then I'll turn it back on, and this will have blown over, and there's another fire.
Yeah,
and if I support that fire, then I'll watch the news. It's just my cycle for the next 4 years, and that's what it's going to be like, and that's how I'm going to deal with it.
Well, see, I don't want to live like that. But thanks, everybody processes it differently. But I thought that the gravity of the office of the presidency would change him, and clearly it hasn't. But this is a new low. Even for Trump standards, this gives Democrats reason to find somebody in their stable to run 4 years from now.
By the way, just with respect to, again, going back to the previous regime with respect to Putin, President Obama had differing things to say about Putin over the course of his 8 years, right? The famous hot mic with Medvedev, the Russian reset that Hillary authored. He also said this is from The Atlantic. The truth is, actually, Putin in all our meetings is scrupulously polite, very frank. Our meetings are very businesslike. He never keeps me waiting 2 hours like he does a bunch of these other folks. He's constantly interested in being seen as our peer and working with us because he's not completely stupid. He understands that Russia's overall position in the world is significantly diminished. There were points at which President Obama and his regime worked with Putin, tried to work with Putin, had less than invective for Putin. That's not the issue. The issue is the comparison that Trump made.
Yeah, there is no comparison.
Dan on the Northwest Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, the only excuse I can give Donald Trump is he did go to college, and even back those days, they taught America was bad. I'm fortunate to say I did not go to college, so I can understand the greatness of America.
There you go.
You look at Obama's record, I mean, he bent over backwards. He gave islands out in the Bering Sea to Russia that people seem to forget. But Donald Trump is definitely 100% wrong on this issue.
All right. Thanks for the call, Dan.
Did you hear the latest? Nancy Pelosi now wants an investigation into President Trump and Putin's relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of children that we don't take seriously, Nancy Pelosi. Dan in Lake County, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Dan.
Yes, I was calling in regards to the Trump statement. I think you have to look at it in a broader sense. Are we innocent when we enact sending arms to people to overthrow governments like Syria, Libya, Egypt, and other places? When we have our special forces go in and take out leaders so that we can influence the way a government's ran, like in Iran, like when we used to install governments like, remember, the Shah of Iran? We can play innocent and say we're always the good guys. But the fact of the matter is we are an arms nation, and we protect our interests. And if another government does not do what we want, we kill them.
Dan,
like it or not, it's a fact.
Yeah, Dan, let me ask you a question. Nobody.
What happened in Vietnam?
Dan,
the leader of Vietnam. We took him out.
I guess I can't ask you a
forces
question.
Killed the leader of Vietnam.
Dan,
you don't want to acknowledge the truth.
Dan,
you want to pretend we're all white, perfect people.
No, I don't actually.
The matter is,
no,
we have killed millions of people.
Dan, are you done?
We have laws that allow women to kill 360 million babies in abortion.
Dan,
so are we really innocent?
Dan, can I? Oh my gosh! No, keep going, Dan. You're making a great case for yourself by not letting anybody else talk.
We're not mistreated.
Yep.
How about the death march?
Yep. Keep going.
And
what else you got? What else you got, Dan? What else you got? Throw it all in the pot, Dan. Keep going, Dan. How long can you go, Dan? Let's see if we can go to 9 o'clock. Hey, keep going, Dan. Keep going.
What happened to the American Indians? Tell me the truth. What the fuck happened?
Hey, whoa! There you go. There it is. There it is, Dan from Lake County. Potty mouth. There it is. Isn't there it is? Is it? You feel better, Dan from Lake County? You child. You hysteric. There it is. Great example of the Kool-Aid drinking Trump supporter. Won't let anybody talk. Uses profanity. Doesn't know what he's talking about historically. That's what we want to scale? Really?
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I think he's still talking. He just doesn't know that he's not on the air anymore.
I feel sorry for his wife.
Can't swear. Today, some sun and then some clouds with drizzle late this afternoon, a pleasant high of 47 degrees. And tomorrow morning, we're going to have some fog, but it's going to be warm, a high of 50. Let's get the travel times. Any drama on the roadways? Here's Jim Talamonte, who joins us in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Unfortunately, Amy and Dan, yes, there are some problems. It's the post-Super Bowl morning crash syndrome. And now the outbound Stevenson is a complete mess. From LaGrange Road to be 483. The crash blocking 2 left lanes, 58 minutes. Lakeshore Drive to 355. Inbound 51 in large part due to Gapers. On the Rhine, inbound, a crash near the Stevenson is gone. It's 28 minutes, 95th to downtown, worse than the express lanes. Outbound, a crash at 18th still has 2 right lanes blocked, plus the exit. 22 minutes downtown to 95th. The Edens is 21 minutes, like Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 27 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. An outbound crash on the Rhine is causing delays on the inbound Kennedy downtown. Outbound 30 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower 34 minutes Thorndale to the post office. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, your company's IT partner should be more than just a place you call when you're having computer problems. Today, IT is beyond just hardware and software. IT is about a relationship between technology and the people who work with it. And that's where Turnkey IT is different. They're an IT company and a people company. They help people use IT better. So people need help from computers and servers to cloud-based systems, cybersecurity, advanced phone systems. People also need help finding out what's out there and how to implement exactly what they need. All with the support of an experienced team that resolves issues quickly. People remember the good services they receive when working with Turnkey IT. Shouldn't your business receive the same white glove treatment? See what other AM 560 listeners already know about Turnkey IT. Local, reputable, compassionate, experienced. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey IT does it better. Turnkey.pro.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-222-1963. 800-222-1963. That's 800-222-1963.
You need to switch your cell phone service to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile was founded to support conservative causes while providing the same great nationwide cell phone coverage that you're already used to enjoying. Patriot Mobile allows you to donate up to 5% of your monthly bill to the conservative organization of your choice at no extra cost to you. Do what I'm doing. Do like me. Switch to Patriot Mobile and support the conservative agenda. Switch today and get a free iPhone with a $50 unlimited talk, text, and data plan, or a free Galaxy phone with a $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan. They will also buy out your current contract up to $500 per line. There's no catch. Call 800-A-PATRIOT, and Patriot Mobile will even waive your activation fee with promo code Joe. Or go to patriotmobile.com/Joe.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, some texts on the Trump-O'Reilly interview. Trump is 708. Trump is just inarticulate and inaccurate sometimes. Still support him. Yeah, okay, well, it's fine. It's just, agree that there's a standard, and when he fails to meet it, it should be identified as such. The worst part of Steve on 88, the worst part of the whole interview mess is that everyone in the country is subjected to Bill O'Reilly's awful interview skills. Yeah.
Well, with Bill O'Reilly, it's always about Bill O'Reilly.
Indeed. Although now Trump did make other pronouncements than on this country in comparison to Putin. He talked about sanctuary cities. And in the case of California, maybe a sanctuary state, for example.
So California and the USA are on a collision course. How do you see it?
Well, I think it's ridiculous, sanctuary cities. As you know, I'm very much opposed to sanctuary cities. They breed crime. There's a lot of problems. If we have to, we'll defund. We give tremendous amounts of money to California.
So you're going to defund.
California, in many ways, is out of control, as you know. Obviously, the voters agree. Otherwise, they wouldn't have voted for me.
So defunding is your weapon of choice.
Well, it's a weapon. I don't want to defund a state or a city. I don't want to defund anybody. I want to give them the money they need to properly operate as a city or a state. If they're going to have sanctuary cities, we may have to do that.
Ooh. That's another shot across the bow of one tiny dancer. That's $5 billion, round numbers, for Chicago that could be in the crosshairs. Speaking of in the crosshairs, you see some of these international magazine covers on Trump? Der Spiegel in Germany.
Der Spiegel?
Yes. the end of the world, and it's
Oh my gosh, it looks like a face of Trump looking is similar to a meteorite.
Yeah, like a disembodied head of Trump as a meteor careening towards Earth to destroy the planet. That's Der Spiegel. An Irish magazine, political cultural magazine called The Village, has.
Let me see.
Well, look at this.
Okay.
Crosshairs on Trump's head. Why not? Is the headline. How about that? Calling for essentially
Calling for the assassination of Donald Trump.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what they're doing.
And if you're going to hit him, here's where you do it to make the most impact. This portion of his head. Okay.
I wonder what the left that had got so exercised about. Remember Sarah Palin when she was helping congressional candidates? She put little crosshairs on land masses, congressional districts.
We want to target the constituents in this district.
And there was outrage about that being
related to Jared Loughner going off and killing 7 people and shooting Gabby in the head.
Gabby Giffords.
Gabby Giffords.
Well, the idea that this was somehow some invocation or paean to violence. I wonder what the left and the international community would say about this Irish political and cultural magazine's cover. You know, their consistency on those issues, which we know what their consistency is.
Did you hear what Oakland's doing this? Oakland, California, their city council, they're voting today on to refrain from entering into new contracts with businesses that support with goods or services the creation of the wall. So that's...
Well, I mean, this is the thing that's nice about it. Everybody gets to make their choice in this country, but just understand that with choices come consequences. And so sanctuary cities, you're on notice, and...
sanctuary states.
And some businesses, you're on notice, and where one door closes, another wall is built.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that could be my reality.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
The website upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show this week, our podcast of Illinois Rising. That's our Sunday program that focuses on state politics and policy. We feature former State Senator Steve Rauschenberger weighing in on the Senate budget deal in the works and why it would be terrible for manufacturing in the state of Illinois. 60-second commentaries, long-form interviews, still focused on Bernie Judge, longtime Chicago newsman, talking about the state of journalism, present day, as well as our Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments this week featuring Northwestern University students talking Trump's temporary travel ban, seeing if they can follow their own logic. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
2 former CIA directors outline the state of the world. Did they miss anything at 6:36?
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 29 degrees outside. 2 states are urging a federal appeals court not to lift a stay on the Trump administration's travel restrictions. Attorneys for Washington and Minnesota submitted written arguments to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals overnight.
President Trump has made it clear. He's going to put the safety and security of the American people first.
Vice President Mike Pence reacting last night at the Super Bowl. Nearly 100 tech firms, including some giants of the industry, are joining that legal fight. Senator Dianne Feinstein argues the president's travel ban, as she calls it, is unconstitutional.
The federal court has a right to make a judgment whether a law or an order is lawful and constitutional, and that process has begun.
Lawyers have until this evening to file more legal paperwork regarding that that travel restriction and ban. Kremlin demanding an apology from Fox News, claiming host Bill O'Reilly made unacceptable comments in his interview with President Trump that aired before the Super Bowl. A confirmation vote expected later today for Betsy DeVos, President Trump's pick to head up the Department of Education. Profit down sharply this morning at Toyota Motor Corporation. The Japanese automaker hiking its expectations for the full year, scrambling to supply more SUVs to the U.S. market as larger vehicles regain some popularity. Health officials across the country say it's not too late for a flu shot, as the flu is now considered widespread in 40 states. Gun violence continues to plague Chicago. 2 teens killed, 10 others wounded by gunshots over the weekend. A retired Chicago police officer faces charges in the alleged murder of his wife. Lauren Volberding was arrested Friday. His wife, Elizabeth, found dead with a gunshot wound to her neck in the couple's Spring Grove home. Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner says his annual budget address this month will be similar to one he delivered last year, asking legislators to work with him on crafting a balanced spending plan. Bulls are back in action tonight, visiting Sacramento. They may go without Jimmy Butler. Super Bowl goes to the Patriots over the Falcons. The news, a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. Westin knows how disruptive travel can be to your well-being, but with rejuvenating heavenly beds, a nutritious superfoods RX menu, and gear lending when you leave your workout gear at home, Westin will help you stay in control and rise above it. Westin. Let's rise. Learn more at Westin.com. 6:34 is our time. Time to check the climate of your business with AirComfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager clears up Trump's immigration policy.
These made-to-order mobs, they act as if there is no crisis of Islamic terror in the world. The language used is so over-the-top. Muslim ban. It's not a Muslim ban. It is a 120-day temporary hold on people coming in from 7 different countries that are Muslim majority.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kurt Penn, founder and CEO of Good Foods. In 2007, I was shopping in a natural foods grocery store and had a vision for a company that would produce fresh, all-natural foods with a social conscience. Signature Bank helped turn that vision into what now is Good Foods. Signature Bank President Mick O'Rourke listened to our story and learned about our business. Mick has been with us every step of the way. Signature Bank takes care of the details so we can focus on producing good foods. Signature Bank is deeply invested in our success. Good Foods is very proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
6:36. Let's get a check of the roads. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens inbound, it's heavy from before Toohey to the junction. 23 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 35 minutes O'Hare to downtown, in part thanks to a crash on the outbound ride at 18th. Just quicker than the express. Outbound, 32 minutes downtown to the airport with additional delays on westbound 190. Inbound Eisenhower, 42 minutes Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 33 to Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 28 from the Tri-State. Outbound, an hour and 10 minutes to 355. A crash before 83 has just cleared. It's really a mess starting past First Avenue. Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown, and traffic is a service of LifeLock. Having coffee or breakfast? You swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to LifeLock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, some sun today. We'll have clouds gathering around midday and spotty drizzle late in the afternoon. High 47, low of 42 overnight, chillier midweek. 25 right now. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we've talked about how so many universities have become totalitarian re-education centers. Well, that, of course, also the case at the K through 12 level. And one example of that we've discussed on this show, we've kind of been at the tip of the spear on this story, New Trier. New Trier High School, considered one of, if not the best public high school in the state.
It's known throughout the country, too.
Sure. A lot of...
prominent alumni.
Correct. You think of your
What do you think of?
Ann Margaret.
Ann Margaret, yeah.
Chuck Heston.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Robert Dold.
Steve Moore.
Steve Moore.
Yeah. Parents of New Trier.
Donald Rumsfeld.
Is a parents group that has started, parentsofnewtrier.org, that started in opposition to a second annual Race Consciousness Day. Understanding today's struggle for racial civil rights, February 28th. There's a February 20th board meeting at which this topic is going to be taken up again. There are more than 100 sessions or workshops to attend. For the 4,000 students at New Trier are required to attend. Mandatory all-day seminar dealing with racial issues. Less than 1%, by the way, of New Trier students are black, which is fine. Doesn't mean you still can't talk about race, but how broad is the conversation about race? You know, who are the facilitators being brought in? A wide array of opinions and experiences on the topic? No, don't be ridiculous.
Who made the starting lineup?
It's names that you've never heard of, but they are all of a radical left activist perspective. These are the race hustlers. These are the race identity political operatives. The classes, I mentioned these 100 workshops, we've talked about them before, but they include things like white privilege in college admissions, microaggressions, voices from literature, Western bias in science, and, from Kareem to Colin Kaepernick, athletes and social activism, social justice, all this kind of left-wing gobbledygook. And so, to their credit, you have, when so many parents are, asleep at the switch when it comes to what's happening in their kids' schools, you've had a parents group rise up against the regime in New Trier and say, no. This propagandizing does not sit well with me. I'm not going to force my student to endure it. And if you want to have a discussion about race and race relations in America, no problem. Happy to do that. Happy to have that discussion. But let's broaden the participants so you get a diversity of intellectual perspectives. That's a sort of diversity too, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So they've suggested the likes of a Bob Woodson and a John McWhorter and a Jason Riley and a Walter Williams, many of those who we've had on the show, accomplished African-American men and women in a range of disciplines who have a different perspective than the left-wing activists. So John McWhorter, I mentioned, he's got an op-ed. He's written a bunch of op-eds, but specifically, and he's an academic, on white privilege, he talks about seminars like this at New Trier. And he wrote, this is a couple years ago now, but when students are compelled to have white privilege one-on-one classes, we have every right to ask why and for whose benefit. If you've been white lately, you have likely been confronted with the idea that to be a good person, you must cultivate a guilt complex over the privileged status your race enjoys. And that's what this seminar, as constructed by the mediocre intellects that run the New Trier school system, and they are. Go to northcooknews.com. We've got a profile on principals,
Well,
superintendent.
why are we projecting this white guilt? I mean, why is it, churches, pray for your privilege.
Well, that's
No,
at,
I mean,
that's
I
at
worked
your
hard
church.
to get out of situations where I don't have to rely on the government. And am I privileged because I'm not sucking off the teat of the government?
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to where this white guilt began and why we're heading in that direction. And everything is still about.
Well, it's grievance politics. It's just grievance politics. There's an end to this. And the purpose is political power for, economic power through political power, economic benefits through political power, not through, producing the best good or providing the best service, but being the best rent seeker, leveraging the power of the federal government to tell other people how to live while enriching herself, right? I mean, that's what grievance groups have been doing for a long time. Think Jesse Jackson Sr. Never had a job in his life. How big's his house on the south side?
It's nice.
Yeah. McWhorter goes on to say, I assume the idea is not to teach white people that white privilege means that black people are the only group of people in human history who cannot deal with the obstacles and challenges. If the idea is that black people cannot solve their problems short of white people developing an exquisite sensitivity to how privileged they are, then we in the black community are being designated as disabled poster children. Isn't that true? Isn't the whole kind of white guilt play like at New Trier among a bunch of well-to-do scions of white families up there for the most part? Isn't that the worst kind of racism? It's the assuming that if we're not apologizing for who we are, then African Americans can't benefit. They need us to, as McWhorter puts it, develop an exquisite sensitivity to our privilege, and that's how somehow improves the plight of the disadvantaged. How ignorant is that? McWhorter goes on to say two things are hard to miss. First, making a lot of the changes white privileged tutors seem to suggest would tie us up in knots, especially in the education realm. And that's exactly what's happening. Secondly, it's hard not to notice that amid white privilege rhetoric, the activist goal is largely implied. No one puts it this way, but those interested in white privilege know so well when it comes to racism, what people say is often an approximate reflection of their true feelings and intents. So the play here, and he uses some of the instructors, some of whose work is being included in this New Trier seminar day, if it happens, redesign social systems, understanding, respecting, and connecting. But it's all about getting control of systems and control of others. That's where McWhorter takes this, because that's where the activists want to take this. Now, I just want to add this parentsofnewtrier.org website. There's a petition there to sign if you want to oppose what's happening at New Trier. If you're in New Trier, you may want to wake up if you already haven't. There's also messages that this parents group has received. For example, some emails. They're posted at parentsofnewtrier.org. Hi, parents.
Uh-oh. Exclamation point there, too? Or is it parents in all caps?
No, it's hi, parents, parens, bigots. Go F yourself. Honestly, what you're trying to do here is pathetic. Diversity programs don't work. What's your alternative? Segregation. Right. This is a New Trier graduate. I emerged from New Trier in 2013.
Oh, God. All right.
New Trier birthed me in 2013.
I hope he wasn't breached. Yes, go on.
And went to a relatively liberal, diverse campus, though ultimately still privileged and white. Oh, man. Coming from New Trier, I realized that I had been shielded, much to my detriment, from any issues of race. New Trier is secretly the bastion of sacred, isolationist, white racists, and you are proudly carrying on the tradition of cross-burning on the North Shore that supposedly died off decades ago. This is tacit northern racism at its most virulent. This is somebody who graduated from New Trier 4 years ago.
Do you think they feel a little entitled?
Remember the outset of our conversation. This is allegedly the best public high school in the
Okay.
state, and this is what it's producing. Cross-burning on the North Shore. The district would not need to spend the money on this day if the majority of parents like yourselves were not racial a-holes. The fact this site exists is proof of the importance of this day. Tolerance. Respect for diversity of opinion. great example of white supremacy. Please do some reading, educate yourself about your place in the world. The Peggy McIntosh article is a start. Peggy McIntosh article that's posted is the same thing John McWhorter was commenting on in his essay from 2 years ago. I'm a senior at New Trier, and can I just say this is ridiculous? Our school is predominantly white. There are, I think, maybe 4 black students in my grade alone. We live in a bubble, and people like you are the exact reason. People like you are why New Trier students are sheltered from the world and can't comprehend what diversity and adversity is! ! You need to step the hell down and embrace this wonderful opportunity for us to learn about Colin Kaepernick. That's my editorial comment.
That's the one that you signed up for.
Right, and intensively explore our country's history and civil rights, right, because of all these well-educated parents of children in the school district who disagree with the activism, race-obsessed politics. They don't know the history of the civil rights movement. Okay. And apparently this individual doesn't know how many white and white conservatives participated in the civil rights movement. Like, say, for example, New Trier graduate Charlton Heston.
Oh.
So he was a civil rights marcher activist. Blah, blah, blah. So that's another one, another New Trier. That's a student. I'm a graduate of the class of whatever. I'm a former educator and a high school history teacher. I left education for business some time ago, but I maintain a strong interest in these matters, especially since becoming a parent. Disappointed but not surprised to see a mandatory of race-gender dogma indoctrination being held at New Trier. This is a poisonous trend in education, and the activists who promote it are becoming increasingly authoritarian and fanatical. I now reside with my family wherever, but have many friends in the New Trier community. I'd be happy to offer any support to the effort to combat this one-sided, politically motivated indoctrination of our children. It's a national problem, and parents of New Trier need to be connected to other groups who are committed to free speech, academic freedom, and a more balanced approach to education, one that resists these kinds of agendas. We parents make many sacrifices to ensure that our children receive the best educations possible, and I salute your vigilance and willingness to step in and say no to this kind of charged and irresponsible politicization of our school programs. So there is a diversity of opinion on the matter, even on the liberal North Shore, and maybe per our property tax story last week about what's happened to home values on the North Shore over the last decade, maybe you've got some families perking up, looking around, finding out what's happening and say, wait a second, we're destroying our home value to send our kids to this reputed best public high school in the state for this? I don't think so.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, some sunshine, but by this afternoon, some spotty drizzle, they say. A high of 47 degrees. Tonight, areas of fog, occasional rain and drizzle, a low of 42. And then tomorrow, considerable cloudiness, a touch of rain, areas of morning fog, but warmer. A high of 50 degrees. Let's jump into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and say good morning once again to Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Inbound Kennedy is very heavy thanks to an outbound Ryan crash at 18th. It's 57 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 39 from Montrose, 36 in the Express. Outbound, it's 39 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 26 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 21. The Eisenhower, 46 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 35. Stevenson is heavy. There was an outbound crash near 83. It's clear now. Inbound 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 34 from the Tri-State. Outbound, an hour and 15 minutes out to 355. A crash again near 83 is cleared, but big delays start before First Avenue. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow at 290. The other tollways are fairly light. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dimes. President Trump bullish as he begins week number 3. GM and Disney releasing financial results. Top Italian businessman keeping his cool over Trump tariffs. Those stories next.
2017 is the year of Trump, and markets are rising to all-time highs. But economic uncertainty may be greater than after any election in our lifetime. And as retirement approaches, there's little time to recover losses. You need to hedge against uncertainty. That means transferring part of your retirement to physical gold and silver, stored where you can actually hold it in your hands and get it fast in any disaster. It's the perfect time to buy. Prices are low and expected to climb. Make Augusta Precious Metals your personal gold and silver provider. Augusta cares for your financial position and helps you make good decisions. And they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Get Augusta's free gold and silver IRA guide. What you learn could help you weather any economic storm. No obligation. Just call 855-222-6993. That's 855-222-6993. 855-222-6993. Trust Augusta. Protect your retirement today.
Donald Trump begins his third week as our president today, bolstered by a soaring stock market, more job creation, and rising factory orders. The president applauding the numbers, saying there's a great spirit in the country right now. General Motors reporting financial results. Walt Disney will do the same. Also this week, the federal government releases its budget for the coming fiscal year. The new CEO of Italy's iconic Ferragamo leather goods and fashions has some advice for other countries overreacting to Trump administration import policies. Relax and take a breath, he says. Any possible taxes or tariffs could be balanced out by the global economy. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, have you thought about what you're getting that someone special in your life for Valentine's Day? You know, it's right around the corner. But forget the roses and candy. Take your Valentine to Punta Cana. Join us and Joe Walsh in Punta Cana, courtesy of our good friends over there at Apple Vacations. We'll be staying at the beautiful Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa, unlimited luxury resort that opened in November. It has 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars, 24-hour room service. It's really a spectacular property. The resort, of course, has sparkling pools and access to pristine beaches. So get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com. Keyword passport. She'll love it as a gift, and you could go along as well. And right now, when you download or launch the AM560 mobile app, you can register for a chance to win an all-expense paid trip to Punta Cana. So go to our, just click on the Passport to Paradise banner to register, but hurry up, the contest ends February 10th.
Mike Rowe here. Today I'm with Frank, one of the heating and cooling pros at 1 Hour. Frank's got his head up event right now. How's it going up there? Frank knows what he's talking about. He's been with 1 Hour for how long, Frank?
14 years.
That's a long time. Over that time, he's worked on tons of different equipment, taken countless hours of training, and that makes Frank the man.
No, Mark Rose the
I'm
man.
sorry, Frank. Say again?
Mike Rose the man.
I heard him the first time. For any heating need, call 855-1 Hour today. Say it again, Frank.
Mike Rose the man.
That's what I'm talking about. Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
When you get in your car, you program your destination into the GPS. You need the best directions to get to where you want to be. The same is true for retirement. You need a voice to guide you along the way. And in Chicago, that voice is Jack Taboda. Join Jack every Saturday morning at 7, right here on 560 The Answer. Jack's nearly 40 years of experience can help make your retirement journey feel like a drive down easy street. Take that first step. Tune in Saturday mornings at 7 for retirement planning with Jack Taboda of Taboda and Associates.
The sounds of an accident. You or a loved one has been injured. Your mind is racing. What happened? Is everyone okay? What now?
I'm Dan Compton of Compton Law Group. We know that at a time like this, you want answers. More importantly, you want justice for what has taken place. If you or a loved one has been injured, please, before you sign something or talk to anyone, call Compton Law Group. This is our specialty, fighting for your rights, fighting for you, and making sure that justice is served. You can reach me at 847-742-6100. That's 847-742-6100. It's my job to make sure that you, your family, and your loved ones are protected and compensated properly. We handle nursing home accidents, car, truck, and motorcycle accidents, construction accidents, and medical malpractice.
When accidents happen, and they will happen, make sure you have Compton Law Group on your side. 847-742-6100 or online at ComptonLawGroup.net. When accidents happen, take the appropriate action with Compton Law Group, located in Elgin and serving all of Chicagoland.
It's here again, guys. Valentine's Day is next week, and you know what that means. Time to start thinking about the perfect gift. Or you can simply trust the experts at Sherry's Berries like I do. Picture your sweetheart when you surprise her at home or her office with decadent dipped strawberries made just for her. I scored major points last year by sending these amazing, unforgettable treats to my wife. She loved them. Hey, you have a unique Valentine. She deserves a one-of-a-kind gift, right? Well, This is it. These berries are ripe, juicy, and delicious. They come freshly dipped in dark, white, and milk chocolatey goodness, topped with irresistible toppings like chocolate chips and chopped nuts. And check this out. Right now, you can get Sherry's Berries for $19.99 plus shipping. That's juicy, gourmet, freshly dipped berries starting at $19.99. Go ahead and double your order for $9.99 more. Don't wait. Valentine's Day is almost here, and this offer expires soon. To get this amazing deal, go to berries.com, click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner, and use code 4040. That's berries.com, code 4040. Berries.com, code 4040.
Hey, last year's mild winter was nice. So far, though, we haven't been so lucky. Snowstorms, bitter cold, and it's only January. The price we pay for living here. So it's important to have a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They aren't one of those massive companies with newer technicians and subcontractors. Family owned and operated, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling send only their own highly skilled technicians. From service to installation and everything in between, the work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first service call. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
Are you a business owner who needs working capital fast? Are you frustrated with the long approval process of banks? Then you need to call the small business owner's friend, Fast and Easy Funds. Even if you've been turned down by other lenders, Fast and Easy Funds can help. Unlike banks, we look at your business cash flow, not just your credit score. So even if you have poor credit, Fast and Easy Funds can get you approved the same day for up to $1 million. Right now, we're offering our lowest rates ever with no pre-payoff penalties and full 3-year term loans with rates as low as 9.9%. So if your business needs working capital for any reason, call or visit us at fastandeasyfunds.com today to get the funding you need fast. You only have to be in business for 1 year to qualify. No hassle. A simple application that takes only minutes and funding in as little as 24 hours. That's Fast and Easy Funds. Let our money work for you. Go to fastandeasyfunds.com or call 800-491-3125. That's 800-491-3125. 800-491-3125.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll ask Tim Carney from the Washington Examiner what's next for Trump's temporary travel ban at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 2 teens killed, 10 hurt in weekend gun violence. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. They're champs again. And Patriots fans celebrated late into the night.
Tommy B, 5, GOAT, forever!
Yeah, they say quarterback Tom Brady's the greatest of all time after a record Super Bowl comeback as New England beat the Atlanta Falcons in overtime 34-28.
A lot of mental toughness by our team, and, we're all going to remember this for the rest of our life.
Fox's Jared Max was at the game, now live in Houston. And we've lost our connection apparently with Jared, but he filed this earlier.
It was the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Down 28-3 with just under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, the New England Patriots scored 31 unanswered points and won the first Super Bowl ever to be decided in overtime. They beat the Atlanta Falcons 34-28. Most valuable player Tom Brady threw for a Super Bowl record 466 yards, winning his 5th Super Bowl ring. Also a record for quarterbacks. Much the same for Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. With the field covered in red and blue confetti, New England owner Robert Kraft ranked this victory against his other 4 Super Bowl wins.
This is unequivocally the sweetest.
But some bitterness, too, for Tom Brady, who didn't get to take home his game-worn jersey.
Someone stole my game jersey.
Brady told USA Today, "I'll probably see it on eBay." In Houston, Jared Max, Fox News.
President Trump was up early tweeting that he calls his own shots, again accusing the media of lying, writing any negative polls are fake news and people want border security and extreme vetting. Now, the Justice Department has until this evening to file briefs with an appeals court trying to overturn a judge's order blocking a Trump executive order.
We're going to prevail. We'll accomplish the stay, and we'll win the case on the merits.
Vice President Pence on NBC's Meet the Press. Washington State and Minnesota have filed briefs saying that the temporary travel ban from 7 predominantly Muslim countries considered terrorists is restored. It'll unleash chaos again. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
29 degrees, mostly clear skies. Just about sunrise in Chicago. 7:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police on Sunday were questioning the relative of a Wheaton woman found slain in her apartment late Saturday night. This morning, they're asking for the public's help in finding 2 cars that have been tied to the killing. Authorities were called to a 4-unit building, 1300 block of Woodcutter Lane, late Saturday, and found the woman dead in one of the apartments. She was later identified as Erin Lineweber, a 58-year-old longtime resident of the complex. Police are looking for Lineweber's red 2009 Kia Spectra. The vehicle may have a Hillary Clinton bumper sticker on the back. Police are also looking for a 2000 Toyota Camry. Public asked to call 911 if they see either vehicle. Gun violence continues to plague Chicago. 2 young teens killed, 10 others wounded by gunshots over the weekend. A 12-year-old South Elgin boy out of a medically induced coma after allegedly being beaten by another student. Police say the 7th grader was slammed to the ground Friday after bumping into another student at Kenyon Woods Middle School. He was taken to the hospital after being severely injured. The other student is in custody today. A Roselle man faces charges for allegedly leaving a bomb at an Airbnb residence in Chicago. Michael DeBrown was renting a room on the west side, was not getting along with the host. When one of the homeowners found a pipe bomb in his room, police later evacuated that home and 2 nearby buildings. And this morning, newspaper editors in the Quad Cities, Bloomington, Normal, Decatur, Southern Illinois, and other papers across the state are calling for a state government shutdown. The Lee Newspaper Group and other newspapers ran editorials saying the only way Illinois will get a new state budget is when lawmakers and the state's political leaders hear from thousands of screaming taxpayers. Papers say a judge should stop paychecks for state workers at the end of the month. Bulls are back in action later tonight visiting Sacramento. They may be without Jimmy Butler, questionable for tonight's game. Blackhawks have a few more days off until they hit the ice at front-running Minnesota on Wednesday. Super Bowl goes to the Patriots over the Falcons, and the news service of Staples. Are you trying to acquire a new customer list for your business? Well, Staples Print and Marketing Services can help you promote your business with low prices on presentations, signs, pens, mugs, and much more. Right now, you can get 15% off custom signs and banners. Ends 3/24. See an associate for details. Staples, make more happen. 7:04, time for, we'll have a check of traffic and weather coming up in 2 minutes on AM 560.
Sean Hannity has strong opinions about the mainstream media.
The average journalist colluded with Hillary Clinton. They never vetted her. They never looked at the crimes she committed, and there were many. They never looked at the corruption of the Clinton Foundation. They never looked at Obama and his radical associations, the Church of GD America. They're lazy and they are agenda-driven. They are alt-radical left.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
The U.S. economy has been getting stronger, and home values have been increasing. This good economic news presents a unique financial opportunity for you. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Many of our clients have been taking cash out of their homes, a strategy that might work for you. The smart move is to refinance your mortgage right now with Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.18%, APR 4.35%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how much we can lower your mortgage payment. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
7:06. Check of the road. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound tri-state, traffic is slow from the Hinsdale Oasis to 47th Street. Then it's really jammed from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. The other tollways are still fairly light. The expressways have some significant delays. The Kennedy's brutal, with delays from Cumberland to well beyond the Burns Circle. There was a crash on the outbound ride at 18th. You're looking at an hour from O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 39 in the Express. Outbound 38 to the airport. Eden's 24 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 22. The Eisenhower. 48 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 34. Stevenson 50 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 35 from the Tri-State. Outbound an hour to 355. There was an earlier crash near 83. Ryan 30 minutes. 95 to downtown. Outbound 20. The crash at 18th still has the exit to 18th blocked. Well, the main lanes are open. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, little tight 18th to the Stevenson. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, some sunshine giving way to clouds with spotty drizzle late in the afternoon. High 47. Areas of fog with occasional rain and drizzle for tonight with a low of 42. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
25 at O'Hare, 30 along the lakefront. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by 1 Hour, together with Mike Rowe, encouraging you to choose licensed technicians to service your home. Call 1 Hour today, 855-1-HOUR.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Patriots win the Super Bowl. Brady has his fifth.
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why you think our country's so innocent?
Specifically, if you played the rest of that interview, he said he didn't know if we would be able to get along with them better, but the president's top priority is to hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source. We have a common interest with Russia to do that.
What do you make, Iron Mike, Coach Ditka, of this crusade on the part of some sports journalists to get Tom Brady to denounce his friend Donald Trump?
Well, I think these people are, can I say this? That they're
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So you heard at the top Trump's a portion of Trump's interview with Bill O'Reilly that was taped and aired before kickoff yesterday. And the controversial part of it, the indefensible part of it, in my estimation, where he effectively compared a KGB despot to America when it comes to blood on people's hands. But there was a lot of ground covered in the 10-minute interview that O'Reilly conducted with President Trump. He talked about the Iran deal.
Possible you tear it up?
We'll see what happens. I mean, we're going to see what happens. I can say this. They have total disregard for our country. They are the #1 terrorist state. They're sending money all over the place and weapons, and can't do that.
Right, and last week, more missile tests by Iran in violation of the deal, and the response was new sanctions from the Trump administration. Treasury Department publishing a list of 13 individuals and 12 entities facing new restrictions for supporting the missile program, having links to terrorism or providing support for the mullahs in Tehran. So that was not one topic. Another topic was Mexico and his most recent exchange with President Peña Nieto.
At this point, do you consider Mexico a corrupt country? Because this stuff has been going on for decades.
I love the people. I really like this administration. I think he's a good man. We get along very well. But they have problems controlling aspects of their country. There's no question about it. And I would say the drugs and the drug cartels, #1.
Yeah, I mean, most of what he had to say was fairly room temperature and standard issue. He mentioned that as well, that Pence is going to head up a commission to look into voter fraud nationally. He reiterated his stance on sanctuary cities and, frankly, sanctuary states if California wants to go that direction. But it was that...
It was all lost when he stooped to a new low to defend the Russian leader, Vladimir Putin.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Tim Carney. The commentary editor for Washington Examiner, WashingtonExaminer.com. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So Trump has the benefit of the first overtime game in Super Bowl history. Great comeback. So maybe that will help the Putin comment dissipate into the ether, and particularly the comment about our country being so innocent, ? How is that going to be received on Capitol Hill? Or are people at the stage now where comments like that from Trump are just kind of dismissed and we move on quickly?
Well, Trump has a lot of critics on Capitol Hill on his foreign policy in the Republican Party, notably Marco Rubio, who came out and immediately chastised the comment. And you've had guys like Lindsey Graham and John McCain. So that Rubio-McCain-Graham is sort of the more hawkish wing of those are probably the three biggest hawks in the U.S. Senate, and they're very critical of Trump on lots of things, on what they see as his softness towards Russia. And in this case, as you say, he defended Vladimir Putin's regime murdering people by comparing it to the U.S. And the problem is, though, what is the Senate going to do about it? What is anybody going to do about it? So Rubio can gripe about it, but Rubio has a history of griping about name-calling, attacking, fighting Donald Trump, and then when the rubber meets the road, giving Trump what he wants. So Trump will get criticism, but I don't know if Donald Trump cares if little Marco, says something mean about him on Meet the Press.
Oh, not that again, little Marco with the little hands. But I mean, Donald Trump was basically insinuating that we engage in the same type of behavior that Putin does. And do you think he needs to apologize, though? Or do you think that this will just be forgotten and in a few more days we'll have another controversy?
So it wasn't new for me to hear that. I'm a Giants fan, so we know how to beat the Patriots. Unlike the
All right.
It was like how Democrats say they should have nominated Bernie. The NFC should have nominated Eli this time around. But in New York State public schools, this is what all my public school teachers told me. Oh, you can't curse. The Khmer Rouge or whatever. Look at all these people that the U.S. killed. I mean, this is what we were fed as public school propaganda, anti-American stuff. And maybe Donald Trump absorbed that living in New York City or something, because it's pretty bad. But will he apologize? When was the last time he apologized? I don't
Access Hollywood tape.
Yeah, that's about right. By the way, just a point of order, Mr. Carney. Eli Manning couldn't even defeat Larry Fitzgerald for NFL Man of the Year. It was a tie.
Yes, but when it comes to one thing of beating the Patriots, again, Bernie Sanders couldn't beat Hillary, but who knows how Bernie would have done against Donald Trump.
True, very true. Let me move to the judicial action on Trump's executive order, the temporary travel ban for individuals from those 7 countries in question. The Ninth Circuit declined to hear the appeal. This is going to the Supreme Court. Pence was on Meet the Press talking about this, not giving any ground to Chuck Todd on the substance or the implementation of the order. Is the feeling that they're going to win at the Supreme Court level, that the president does have the power to do what is contained in that executive order, and so they're going to pursue that irrespective of some of the concerns expressed by Republicans on the Hill?
Yeah, so the concerns expressed by Republicans on the Hill had to do with the implementation of the plan, and some of them, like our editorial page, think that the substance of the plan is misguided. The idea that it is illegal, though, or the idea that it is unconstitutional for the president to do this, always struck a lot of us critics of the plan as far-fetched. We said the president shouldn't have done it, but he obviously had the authority. And the only people who could take away the authority would be Congress, because Congress was the one who passed the law, the Immigration and Nationalization Act, that said that the president has the authority for any period of time he wishes to restrict any class of immigration that he likes. It's pretty clear-cut. The constitutionality of it has never been challenged. My colleague Byron York at the Examiner has a very good point sort of laying out here are the different arguments on either side that have been made in court, and it's hard to disagree with the administration, even if, like me, you oppose the policy. So I do think in the Supreme Court it won't be hard to win. I mean, a justice who, even if he opposes it, is supposed to look at the letter of the law, and it's clear that President Trump has the authority to do this. So I do think it'll go to the Supreme Court quickly, and Trump administration will probably win there.
And part of that process, does Trump team need to indicate an actual problem with the current vetting process?
Well, so that was what some of the judge was asking for. But again, if you read the letter of the law, the president's reasoning has to be that it's if it's in the interest of the national security, or if it's in the national interest, is what the president has to have determined. So then we get into administrative law. This is the real exciting stuff. This is the part that lawyers slept through in law school. It's did they make an argument, sort of, while putting forward this rule as to why it was needed, why this ban was needed. And if it's just Trump saying, until we know what the heck is going on here, that doesn't count as an argument. But if he can point to saying, the refugee process hasn't been overhauled in many years, these countries, as we know, were named countries of special concern in a law passed under the Obama administration. So the idea that it's discriminatory seems to me to be wiped out by that fact, that they're citing a 2015 law. The idea that it was sort of implemented properly, it could become sort of an administrative procedure case, but as far as fundamental constitutional rights and being discriminatory and that sort of thing, it seems to me that the pre-existing law that President Obama signed wipes that argument off the table.
Speaking of the Supreme Court, are we moving, despite the bluster in the initial hours after the announcement, we moving to a relatively easy confirmation for Neil Gorsuch?
Oh, yeah. The Gorsuch is going to get confirmed. Will the Democrats block a vote, thus pushing Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, to invoke the nuclear option and wipe out the filibuster for Supreme Court nominees? That's the only question. And some Democrats think maybe they should, if they've got that sort of chess move that forces McConnell's hand, that they should save it for a more controversial judge. Because the fact is, Gorsuch was confirmed unanimously for the lower court nomination. And so for Democrats now, it's all tactics. Opposing him is a tactic, and if they let him go through, it's a tactic. I'm not going to say I'm inside Chuck Schumer's mind. Nobody on the Democratic Party actually thinks they can block Gorsuch. If they say that, they're just trying to raise money from you. The question is, what will be their tactics for fighting? Because they do have to fight. The base wants a fight from them, but they also may think that they have limited amount of ammo, and they may want to save some of that for a later fight.
And what's the latest, greatest handle on the DeVos confirmation for Education Secretary?
So basically all 100 senators have stated their position. You've got two Republicans, that's Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine, saying no. But the one waffling Republican, Deb Fischer of Nebraska, said she was on board. So that gives DeVos 50 votes. The vice president is Mike Pence, but it means that they can't confirm Sessions to be Attorney General until after they confirm DeVos, because they need that 50th vote, that Alabama Senate vote. So the Democrats are using this furiously to fundraise. It taps right in. We had an editorial in the Examiner over the weekend saying the fact that they're picking that fight instead of the Sessions fight shows that this is really about playing to their donor base, playing to the teachers' unions. Right. They know that the Secretary of Education doesn't have that big of a difference on the way local school districts are run. Hopefully, and DeVos speaks that way. And so this is just, their teachers' unions are really upset, their base is really upset, and they're not going to get a scalp, but they're hoping to at least draw some blood. And so she'll get through, and it might be Mike Pence's very first vote as president of the U.S. Senate.
There you go. All right. He is Tim Carney, commentary editor for the Washington Examiner, WashingtonExaminer.com. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good one.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, could possibly be the best, most exciting Super Bowl of all time. But first, here is your forecast. Some sun, then clouds. Spotty drizzle by this afternoon. A warm high of 47 degrees. Tonight, fog, occasional rain. And tomorrow, we're going to have areas of fog and some rain. Warmer, a high of 50 degrees. Any high travel times? Let's get the latest on our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center Here's Jim Talamonte.
Yes, Amy, your inbound Kennedy's jammed. Harlem to beyond the Burn Circle after a crash on the outbound ride at 18th. It's an hour and 8 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 35 minutes from Montrose, 34 in the Express. Outbound 37 to the airport. Eden's 25 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 23. The Eisenhower, 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 46. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 20, the exit to 18th is still blocked by that crash. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, slow Belmont to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Tri-State has delays from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and very slow Roosevelt to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial, a little tight Maple to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The website upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements and extends what we do here on this show. Long-form interviews this week featuring venerable Chicago journalist Bernie Judge on the state of journalism and the presence of fake news. Man on the Street interviews in our Follow the Logic segment this week featuring Northwestern students trying to tackle the immigration issue. That should be interesting logic to follow. 60-second commentaries, podcasts of our Illinois Rising program, which covers state politics and policy. This week featuring former State Senator Steve Rauschenberger weighing in on the Senate budget deal and what it would mean for manufacturing in this state. It's all at upstream-ideas.com. Sign up today.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Hi, this is Shalom Klein of Get Down to Business, the show for small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, powered by Tandem HR.
401k plans have become a widely accepted retirement savings vehicle. An estimated 53 million U.S. workers participate in 401k plans today. Business owners offering retirement savings plans help employees save for their future and are often seen as desirable places to work. Attract and retain the best employees while earning tax savings for your business. According to the American Benefit Council, nearly 80% of full-time workers have access to employer-sponsored retirement plans. Are you a small or mid-sized business not currently offering a retirement plan? Contact Tandem HR today to find out how to add this and other affordable benefits to compete for talent. Visit tandemhr.com. That's tandemhr.com.
For more tips, advice, and stories of entrepreneurial successes, listen to Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein. Heard Sunday afternoons at 6. Your Business Minute of the Day is powered by Tandem HR.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Amy, Matty Ice melted down, and everybody was rooting against Tom Brady.
Of course.
Outside the Patriots organization, some for political reasons, some for football reasons.
Well, a lot more for political reasons this year round. I mean, people that I was watching the game with and I subsequently had to leave were saying, I'm not cheering for the Patriots. I can't because Tom Brady supported Donald Trump and gave him money for his campaign. We don't know if he donated money to his campaign. We know that they're friends. Donald Trump has mentioned that in the past, but why hold it against that guy? That should be celebrated. Well,
we could donate. We could know if he donated. You just have to look it up.
Right.
Robert Kraft certainly did, the Patriots owner, because he and Trump are friends. And he said in an interview last week that Trump was there for him in the worst time of his life when his wife passed away and was a good friend. And so he doesn't walk away from his friends. So I respect that about Kraft. And frankly, Tom Brady. And you know who else does?
Coach Ditka. Coach.
What do you make, Iron Mike, Coach Ditka, of this crusade on the part of some sports journalists to get Tom Brady to denounce his friend Donald Trump?
Well, I think these people are, can I say this, that they're
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they're a-holes. And they'll be in front of Trump Tower on February 12th as part of that a-hole party that's happening. Sports reporters, generally speaking, there's some exceptions, but it's very much like the D.C. press corps. They're all people of the left. And I mean, that's what ESPN has become.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all left. So it's nice to hear from the coach. And frankly,
it's coach.
It softens the blow. It softens the blow of Brady's 5th ring that he and Kraft were not cowed by the demand for leftist orthodoxy among the sports reporting core.
And I loved yesterday after the game, during the post-game interviews on the field, when they asked about Robert Kraft and Deflategate, and he just took another shot at Goodell.
Well, they've been terrific this entire year, supporting us and being with us. And I think what happened to Tommy the first 4 games engaged fans even more because they know we weren't treated fairly. And, now we had a chance to go through the year, and I think results speak for themselves.
But it's funny, people that supported Hillary Clinton, and they're also Patriot fans, they're having a hard time cheering for the team, feeling as if they're cheerleading for the Trump administration, too. So they started this thing on Twitter that if the Patriots score, they're going to donate to opposition to groups that oppose Trump's policies.
What if Piers Morgan tweeted, think about if you were a Hillary supporter, a Falcons fan who opposed Britain leaving the EU. It's been a tough last several months. Add in if you're an Indians fan on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
That's good stuff.
By the way, the Deflategate thing and the 4 games and generating even more fan interest, as Bob Kraft said, he's right on. Generated so much interest, they made a song about it.
They sure did. It's the best song ever.
Hey, let's all sing Tom Brady's new song while we celebrate Houston, okay? You know the stakes are large, move the ball quickly, get those first down yards in. 4 rings, 1 more, nice sitting pretty on your way to the hall, and I chant Tom.
Tom.
Yeah,
I chant Tom.
So Brady, pull me closer to more Super Bowl exposure. Raise that MVP award while you're hoisted on our shoulders. Throw that pass that beats the corner off that pump fake that you sold to your teammate Amendola. Champagne's better when it's colder.
I love that
Champagne's-
Chainsmokers Halsey song, and that's a pretty good rendition of it.
Yeah, champagne's better when it's colder. Pull me closer, Tom.
I can one-up it.
All right, what do you got? What do you got in your pocket, Prof?
Lady Gaga, or Gogs, as I call her. Yeah.
Sorry.
She did the halftime show, descended from on high like a spider.
Gorgeous.
Sing next to Miss Muffet. Christopher Walken doing Poker Face.
I want to hold them like they do in Texas plays. Fold them. Let them hit me. Raise it, baby. Stay with me. I love it. Luck and intuition play the cards with spades to start. And after he's been hooked, I'll play the one that's in his heart. Oh! Oh, oh! Oh! Ah! Oh, E! Oh! Oh, oh! I'll get 'em hot. Show 'em what I've got. Oh! Oh, 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 ooh. Oh, E! Oh! Oh! I'll get 'em hot. Show 'em what I've got. Poker face.
Next year's halftime show, Walken.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their 3 co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Melissa McCarthy as Sean Spicer at 7:47.
It's spectacular. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, we're monitoring things in Yazoo City, Mississippi this morning, where 4 have been shot and killed so far in a shooting spree after arguments erupted at a nightclub in that city. It happened early this morning, and we'll keep our eyes on that story as we watch other developments this morning, starting with the Trump administration, who says it's confident the president's restrictions on travel of refugees and other travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim countries will be reinstated after arguments before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
President Trump has made it clear. He's going to put the safety and security of the American people first.
Vice President Mike Pence, lawyers for Washington State and Minnesota have already submitted arguments. The case is likely headed for the Supreme Court. President Donald Trump makes his first visit today to a pair of major military compounds in his role as Commander-in-Chief. He'll travel to MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, home to both the headquarters for Central Command and the U.S. Special Operations Command. Philippine troops are back in action after offensive comments against communist rebels erupted after the country's president scrapped peace talks. The action by President Rodrigo Duterte came after Marxist guerrillas abandoned their own truce and started their own war of words and then killed 6 soldiers and kidnapped 2 others. It's the latest flare-up in the 48-year insurgency in that country. Yes, that was a meteor you were seeing on dashcam video from police squad cars in Lyle and Morton Grove. Similarly, video was shown from dashcams in Plover and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The meteor lit up skies over the Midwest early this morning. Huge ball of flame in the western sky was visible by at least 4 states, including the state of Illinois, according to the National Weather Service. Gun violence plaguing Chicago over the weekend. 2 young teens killed, 10 others wounded, and a 12-year-old South Elgin boy is out of a medically induced coma after allegedly being beaten by another student. Chicago sports. Bulls back in action tonight, visiting Sacramento. Jimmy Butler is questionable for that contest. Super Bowl goes to the Patriots over the Falcons. The news, a service of Cintas. The workday is unpredictable. Are you ready? Let Cintas help prepare you. Cintas, your source for fresh mats, crisp uniforms at first aid and safety solutions, and fire protection. Get started at Cintas.com. Cintas, ready for the workday. 7:34, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Governor Greg Abbott is threatening any Texas city that becomes a sanctuary city. That if you don't reverse course and cease and desist your sanctuary city status, the state's going to cut you off. Man, that's the way to do it. It's my hope that Trump's going to do the same thing.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Your company's critical projects involve improving processes, evolving business models, launching products, and realizing strategic imperatives. Integrated Project Management's core competency is execution, using process, leadership, and discipline to assure successful, sustainable results. Since 1988, IPM has led nearly 4,000 initiatives alongside our clients in a structured, engaging, and respectful manner. IPM's 7 nationwide offices employ consultants who excel at providing project management consulting to America's most successful firms. Their outstanding leaders transform strategy into reality, providing clients with a competitive advantage. IPM has been recognized as a top small and medium workplace and great workplace in consulting and professional services by Fortune magazine and one of the 25 best small companies by Forbes magazine. When your company needs help executing critical projects, visit IPMCinc.com or call Integrated Project Management's Chicago office at 630-789-8600. That's IPMCinc.com. Nothing matters if you can't execute.
The C.H. Hansen Company stands proud as a great American hand tool manufacturer. Founder C.H. Hansen was a Chicago native, and the company remains family-owned and operated for over a century and a half. C.H. Hansen wishes to thank their employees for their service and customers for their business. C.H. Hansen offers over 2,000 products, stock and custom order in 8 product categories, including steel stamps, stencils, metal tags, barricade and flagging tapes, plus Palmgren, makers of work-holding vices and metalworking machinery. Although business, products, customers, and the industry have changed, the leadership of C.H. Hansen continues to attribute success on the founding principles of faith and quality tools. The mission of C.H. Hansen is to glorify God by the way that they serve their customers, treat employees, and help community. This is accomplished by providing valued products, exemplary customer service, and operation excellence. Visit chhansen.com or palmgren.com for more information.
7:37. Time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Check the roads, alarm detection systems, traffic center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is jammed. Harlem to the Burn Circle. It is an hour and 7 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. It's quicker in the locals. Outbound 35 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 25. The Eisenhower. Now 59 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 48. Stevenson an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39 minutes. Ryan 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Outbound 18. The exit to 18th still blocked after a crash. Northbound Tri-State stop and go from the Stevenson to 47th and Roosevelt to North Avenue. And traffic is a service of Connect Better. When you connect better, everything comes together. Join the more than 3 million people who use GoToMeeting every month to connect with their team. Try it free at gotomeeting.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. We have sunshine this morning. Clouds develop midday and spotty drizzle late in the afternoon, high 47. Fog overnight, rain and drizzle as well, continuing with a low of 42. 28 degrees officially at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Airwaves. Check out the show that's all about making money in real estate every Sunday at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You know, Amy, I don't look to Islamic theocracies for what the U.S. should do in terms of policy, including immigration policy, but it is worth noting. It is just kind of interesting since the left is playing their bigot-baiting game with as much energy as they can muster. It is interesting to note, this comes to us from the Daily Wire, Israeli Jews are forbidden from entering 16 Muslim countries. 6 of the 7 states on Trump's temporary ban currently bar Israeli Jews from entering their country at all. Well, have you heard anything about anti-Semitism that permeates many of these Islamic theocracies? I haven't heard very much. Chuck Schumer, he's the head clown.
Yes.
Senate Minority Leader Pagliacci. After the Paris attacks that resulted in 137 deaths, Schumer thought it was a good idea to tighten visa loopholes. He even suggested a refugee pause may be necessary. Now, Republicans suggesting the same are un-American. This is Chuck Schumer tweeting, "We must tighten loopholes in the visa waiver program, ensure passports can't be faked, and stop terrorists who want to exploit the system." That was Chuck Schumer before he was Minority Leader Pagliacci. That's November 19th of 2015. But per what Chuck Schumer tweeted, boy, I'll tell you what, that sounds awfully similar to what Vice President Pence said on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd this weekend.
The issue is these are countries that do not have the internal systems in place so that we can be confident today that when people present themselves for access to the United States, that they are who they say they are. Now, there's a 30-day review underway.
Now, I mean, it is sort of important to note with respect to 2 administrations that agree on very little, they agree on those 7 countries. I'm talking about the Obama administration and the Trump administration.
Yeah, because originally they came up with that list. The Obama administration did.
And there was a reason behind it, as Mike Pence just referenced. So that seems to be lost in this conversation. For more on where it stands now that federal district court judge has enjoined it, what President and the Trump administration should do about it, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend, Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good. So you're on Homeland Security in the Senate. This is a core part of your work in the Senate. What about what Mike Pence had to say, these 7 countries, this temporary ban, before we get into the legal matters, the substance of it in terms of the rationale for it?
Well, we did strengthen the visa waiver program to not allow individuals from those countries to basically have their interview waived or waive a visa from coming in this country. We tightened that up under the Obama administration because it made sense to do so. There is no right from non-U.S. citizens to get into this country. And from my standpoint, the chief executive, the President of the United States, has got an awful lot of power when it comes to national security, and particularly when it comes to refugees. Nobody challenged President Obama when he increased the number of refugees he was going to let in this country. Now, we made a political point about it, but he basically has the power in consultation with Congress to set how many people come in from whatever country. The president does. And so he increased the number. I think he announced 110,000 for 2017, and President Trump said, now we're going to knock that down to 50. That is the president's power. Basically, all he has to do is consult with Congress, which means he just tells us what he's going to do. So, again, I think, quite honestly, this is not a good injunction. But now it's in front of the Ninth Circuit, probably the most liberal, progressive circuit court that gets overruled by the Supreme Court all the time. So this is going to work its way through the court system. And I think we need to respect that process. But, but bottom line, I think what the American people are looking for, first and foremost, is how do we keep our homeland safe? And I'm on their side when it comes to that viewpoint.
Well, what about expanding the list? I mean, you have the underwear bomber. He came from Nigeria. The shoe bomber came from the UK. Is that a possibility that it'll be accepted and then it'll be expanded?
Well, what I've been saying for a long time is, if I'm concerned about ISIS operatives coming to the United States, I'm more concerned about ISIS operatives coming in through our incredibly porous southern borders. We tightened up the visa waiver program, the refugee program. I think there's a pretty easy way of handling that is just take absolutely no risk. And I suggested, putting criteria on, for example, if you're talking about Syrians, and there's some real humanitarian situations where you may want to let Syrians in. Why not start with the criteria of women and children, relatives of United States citizens that have the financial wherewithal to support the refugees coming to this country? There's a way of doing this without endangering America's homeland security at all. I'm just not sure that we're doing that right now, and I think that's exactly what President Trump is saying is let's pause the admittance of refugees from these 7 countries so we can review the process and make sure that we're not taking any risks. Now, irrespective of what the courts do, that review will be undertaken by Secretary Kelly and Department of Homeland Security, and my guess is we'll tighten up the vetting process, and I think that's a good thing.
Sticking on the topic, but taking it domestic, Trump was asked in his Super Bowl interview with O'Reilly about sanctuary cities. Of course, there's legislation pending in the House, Congressman Lou Barletta from Pennsylvania, to defund sanctuary cities. Trump suggested that, look, we want to provide the federal resources for states and cities, but if they're going to flout federal immigration law and make it more difficult and refuse to work with ICE agents, then, there may have to be defunding as a part of that. What do you think the likelihood is of really defunding to the tune of, for example, in Chicago, $5 billion, San Francisco, other big cities that are sanctuary cities or sanctuary counties, of moving in the direction to defund them if they dig in?
Well, listen, I'm all for federalism. I'm all for local control, government close to govern. But, there's a role for the federal government in steering this nation is our immigration laws. And local jurisdictions have to respect the immigration laws, that they have to respect the detainers issued by ICE, one of the Departments of Homeland Security, to make sure that dangerous people get removed from our streets. And if they're not willing to do that, I think they are definitely put at risk their federal government funding for those jurisdictions. So I'm supportive of the sanctuary city bills that would clamp some real controls, some real penalties on any jurisdiction, local, state, or county that refuses to follow the immigration laws of the United States of America.
Now, do you think the judge who blocked Donald Trump's executive order put our national security in peril?
Probably not by a real significant, not any significant way. I really don't believe so. The secretary has already, he's going to follow the law. At the same time, he's going to use his discretion to make sure that we really thoroughly vet anybody that does come in from those countries. So, again, I think there's a common sense way of doing this without an outright ban of setting criteria, not taking any chances, making sure that we absolutely know who's coming in. For example, my daughter sent me an article of this little Iranian little baby girl that had a heart defect. My daughter had a heart defect, so it kind of definitely affected her. So she sent that to me last week when we were in session on Thursday. I made my staff aware of that and worked with the Oregon senators. And bottom line is that little girl is coming in to get her surgery at a Oregon hospital without even a visa at all, because the State Department of Homeland Security waived that because we're a very compassionate country. There's no risk being taken in America by letting in a little baby girl to get surgery for a heart defect. So there's a way of doing this without risking America, without inflaming the politics. But let's face it, the left is not going quietly into the night here, are they? They're going to obstruct. They're going to scream about just about anything this administration does, no matter how reasonable it is.
Speaking of inflaming, one of the favorite targets of the left for fundraising purposes, for headline purposes, seems to be Trump advisor Steve Bannon. Nancy Pelosi called him a white supremacist last week without any evidentiary support. Time magazine has this foreboding cover featuring Bannon and a profile piece on him.
And on Saturday Night Live, he's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Are you concerned at all about Bannon's standing on the National Security Council or his influence in the administration?
I want to see this president succeed in making sure our economy reaches full potential and that our homeland stays safe. And I've heard so many senators on a bipartisan basis for so many years say that elections matter, that the presidents are given great latitude and deference in choosing advisors that they have confidence in, that they are comfortable with, that agree with their views. And so I come from that position. Elections matter, and presidents should be able to surround themselves with advisors that they're comfortable with. That's my standpoint. It's the end of the story.
All right. He is Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin. Senator Johnson, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thank you. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. But first, we want to thank Barbara Beach for listening to AM 560 The Answer. Barbara Beach, thanks for making Chicago's Morning Answer and AM 560 part of your day.
Yeah, Barbara.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Again, Barbara Beach, thank you for listening to AM 560 The Answer. Coming up next, wow, a new character joins SNL. Quite the portrayal of angry Sean Spicer. But first, here's your forecast. Sunshine right now. But by this afternoon, we're going to have some spotty drizzle, a high of 47 degrees. Tonight, some fog, occasional rain and drizzle, low 42. And for tomorrow, it's going to be warm. We're going to have a high of 50 degrees under morning fog and then some rain in the afternoon again. Let's get the latest travel times. How's that inbound Kennedy? Here's Jim Telemonte, who joins us from our beautiful Alarm Detection System Traffic Center. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Amy. Unfortunately, our inbound Kennedy's pretty ugly right now. It is an hour and 18 minutes to get from O'Hare to downtown. The delay started at Sayre. It's 50 minutes from Montrose, 46 in the Express. Outbound 33 minutes from downtown to the airport. Edens, 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 28. The Eisenhower, now an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, 48 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 46 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. Ryan, 31 minutes. 95th to downtown, outbound 18. The ramp to 18th is blocked with a crash. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, really heavy. Hollywood to North Avenue, 39 minutes from Hollywood to Monroe. The Tri-State has a southbound delay from 120 to Atkinson, northbound from the Stevenson to 47th and Roosevelt to North Avenue. From Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Andrea Kashaba, owner of Tulane & Associates, an accounting and tax service in Elk Grove Village. If you're a small business, feeling snubbed or overcharged by your current accounting firm, I invite you to give us a try. You shouldn't have to feel overlooked by your current tax accountant because you're a small business. Small businesses and individuals are my specialty. I will always treat you and your business with respect, and we'll take care of as much or as little as you'd like us to do. From payroll to sales taxes, financial statements to business and personal taxes, projections, or bookkeeping services. Call Tulane & Associates at 847-952-1510 or visit TulaneandAssociates.com. That's THULIN, Tulane & Associates. Get a no-cost 1-hour initial consultation that could change the way you do business. Call 847-952-1510. That's 847-952-1510.
Remember the old song, Love and Marriage go together like a horse and carriage? Dad was told by Mother, you can't have one without the other. That's the message that Scott Phelps, Executive Director of the Abstinence and Marriage Education Partnership, brings to students in schools across the country. Using 5 character-based abstinence education programs which he authored, Mr. Phelps conducts training seminars nationally for parents and teachers to effectively communicate the benefits of abstinence in marriage to youth. A&M programs have reached over 1.5 million teens across all 50 states. Join Catholic Citizens of Illinois at the Union League Club on February 10th for the monthly Forum Luncheon featuring Scott Phelps. Invite parents and teachers to attend this inspiring presentation with you. For more information, go to CatholicCitizens.org or call Maureen at 708-352-5834. That's 708-352-5834.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I got to say, Melissa McCarthy doesn't do much for me as a comedic actress.
Ooh, I love her.
She was good in St. Vincent, but in the comedy stuff, not so much. But I'll tell you what,
Boss, I love her in that.
and an inspired choice to do Sean Spicer on Saturday Night Live on Saturday night.
I'd like to begin today by apologizing on behalf of you to me for how you have treated me these last 2 weeks. And that apology is not accepted. Because I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm here to swallow gum, and I'm here to take names.
And then I love this one, too, when she calls on Glenn Thrush from the New York Times.
Okay, we'll do a couple questions. Go. Glenn Thrush, New York Times. Boo! Go ahead.
Boo!
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the travel ban on Muslims.
Yeah, it's not a ban.
I'm sorry?
It's not a ban. The travel ban is not a ban, which makes it not a ban.
But you just called it a ban.
Because I'm using your words. You said ban. You said ban. Now I'm saying it
The
back
president
to you.
tweeted, and I quote, if the ban were announced with a 1-week notice...
Yeah, exactly. You just said that. He's quoting you. It's your words. He's using your words. When you use the words and he uses them back, it's circular using of the word, and that's from you.
So good. And my favorite part where
It
she
was
took the
good.
lectern and then started physically jabbing reporters.
yeah.
And then the CNN reporter in diapers and a cage to the side, like, we're not fake news, we're not. And the squirt gun at the end. I mean,
hey, give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
We can laugh at ourselves and our allies. Spicer does come across as a little angry, a little huffy sometimes. And McCarthy, you know, as you do with parody, turned it into a character. It was funny. It was a good job.
That was awesome.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson. Like many of you, I had problems sleeping. My pillow went flat. I flip-flopped and woke up with a sore neck or headache. I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. That's why Mike Lindell invented My Pillow. You can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll get into that deep sleep faster and stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed. It's about quality sleep. And My Pillow is manufactured in the U.S. and has a 10-year warranty. You can wash it and dry My Pillow and get a 60-day money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. Now, here's an unbelievable offer. For a limited time, receive Mike Lindell's 4-pack special. You'll get 40% off 2 My Pillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Call 800-489-0201 and be sure to use the promo code Amy to receive that 4-pack special deal. And if you've been putting off purchasing a My Pillow, it's time to finally start getting a great night's sleep like I do. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy.
Hi, my name is Ray McElroy, former Chicago Bears player and chaplain and founder and CEO of the nonprofit A Ray of Hope on Earth. You know, running a successful nonprofit organization that serves at-risk, underserved youth in the inner city of Chicago presents its own set of challenges. I am so relieved that as a small, newer organization, we don't have to count our payroll and HR responsibilities as one of them because of the amazing service we receive from Precision Payroll of America. Not only do I appreciate the professional quality of Precision Payroll of America, but I also love that their values of faith, family, and fair and comprehensive service align perfectly with our own.
Thank you, Ray. For our great services, call me at 630-242-1507 or on the web at precisionpayroll.com. To support a great cause, check out arrayofhopeonearth.org.
Tom, you're the best, bro.
No, man, you're the best.
No, you're the best.
Oh, you the man.
No, for real, though, you the man.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Judd Babin will be here. We'll ask him what his favorite Super Bowl commercial was. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
2 teens killed, 10 hurt in weekend gun violence. A synagogue vandalized. Retired Chicago policeman arrested for his wife's murder. State representative wants to declare Illinois a sanctuary state. U-Haul says Carbondale is one of the fastest growing cities in the nation. We'll try to explain why. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. The Trump administration is confident the president's executive order will be reinstated temporarily, barring travel from 7 predominantly Muslim countries considered terrorists. The Justice Department has until this evening to file briefs with an appeals court trying to overturn a judge's order that halted the ban. 2 states support that judge.
Washington and Minnesota filing those briefs saying that the ban would indeed unleash chaos if it was restored. And the tech industry news ramping up their fight in the fight against a travel ban. 97 companies, including Twitter, Apple, Google, Microsoft, filed an amicus brief late yesterday in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals opposing the order.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. President Trump was tweeting as usual early this morning. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump tweeting, "I call my own shots largely based on an accumulation of data, and everyone knows it." The president also railing again about fake news. And President Trump is not apologizing for his remarks about Russia and Vladimir Putin during an interview with Fox's Bill O'Reilly.
Will I get along with him? I have no idea. It's very
He's a
possible
killer,
I
though.
won't.
Putin's a killer.
A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why you think our country's so innocent?
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is distancing himself from President Trump's comments, calling the Russian president a thug. Dave?
John Russia wants an apology from Fox for Bill O'Reilly calling Putin a killer in that exchange. And a Russian minister also said today it will be too risky for the U.S. to try to reopen the Iran nuclear deal that President Trump again called last night a stupid deal. They're getting ready for a parade tomorrow in Boston to celebrate another Patriots championship.
I'm so proud of our guys, our coaches, the team. It was unbelievable.
Quarterback Tom Brady led the biggest Super Bowl comeback ever, down by 25. The Patriots rallied back, forced overtime, and beat the Atlanta Falcons 34-28. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
31 degrees. Right now we have sunny skies. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Yes, that was a meteor you saw on dash cam video from police squad cars in Lyle and Morton Grove. Similar video from police dash cams in Wisconsin. The meteor lit up the skies over the Midwest early this morning. A huge ball of visible flame in at least 4 states, according to the National Weather Service. Police on Sunday were questioning the relative of a Wheaton woman found slain in her apartment building Saturday night. They're now asking for the public's help in finding 2 cars tied to the killing, a 2009 Kia Spectra and a 2000 Toyota Camry. A 12-year-old South Elgin boy is out of a medically induced coma after allegedly being beaten by another student. The 7th grader slammed to the ground Friday after bumping into another student at Kenyon Woods Middle School. Gun violence continues to plague the city of Chicago. 2 young teens were killed, 10 others wounded by gunshots over the weekend. A retired Chicago police officer facing charges for allegedly murdering his wife. Lauren Volberding was arrested Friday. His wife, Elizabeth, who is also a retired Chicago police officer, was found dead with a gunshot wound to the neck in the couple's home in Spring Grove on Friday. The Anti-Defamation League is offering a reward for information about whoever vandalized a Chicago Loop synagogue over the weekend. And according to U-Haul, more people are moving their stuff into Carbondale than taking it out. U-Haul out with its ranking that lists Carbondale as the 18th fastest growing small community in the nation. But the moving company cannot say how many of those truck rentals are for students enrolling or leaving Southern Illinois University. Bulls are back in action tonight visiting Sacramento. They may have to do it without Jimmy Butler, questionable for tonight's game. Patriots beat the Falcons in the Super Bowl. The news, a service of Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org. 8:04 is our time. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, toy maker Hasbro is reporting stronger sales and a higher profit for the holiday season. While the money it made from its boys category declined 3%, business from its girls category increased more than 50%. Hasbro makes everything from Star Wars and Transformer toys to Disney princesses and dolls and toys for Disney's Frozen line. Volkswagen is being sued by its first corporate customer because of the emissions cheating scandal. The company Deutsche See is seeking millions in damages. It accuses Volkswagen of misrepresenting a fleet of trucks as environmentally friendly. VW also faces lawsuits from owners, regulators, states, and dealers. Europe's budget airline Ryanair is reporting a weaker profit. It says it's been flying with more empty seats. The Dow added 186 on Friday. NASDAQ was up 30. S&P gained 16. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05. We'll get a check of traffic and weather in just a moment on AM 560, The Answer.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
The U.S. economy has been getting stronger, and home values have been increasing.
This good economic news presents a unique financial opportunity for you. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Many of our clients have been taking cash out of their homes, a strategy that might work for you. The smart move is to refinance your mortgage right now with Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.18%, APR 4.35%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how much we can lower your mortgage payment. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
8:07. In our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We see very heavy delays on the inbound Kennedy from Nagle to downtown and beyond. It is an hour and 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 55 minutes from Montrose, 54 in the Express, outbound 37 from downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 47 minutes from Manheim, outbound 43 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35 minutes. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 19. Crash has the ramp to 18th blocked. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, a mess. Hollywood to North Avenue, 39 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe. Southbound Tri-State stop and go, 122 Eau Plaine. Northbound from the Stevenson to 47th and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Veterans Memorials, low 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Some sun followed by clouds today, spotty drizzle. Late in the afternoon with a high 47. Areas of fog with occasional rain and drizzle tonight, low 42. Then patchy morning fog tomorrow, otherwise cloudy with a touch of rain, high of 50. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 31. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Patriots win the Super Bowl. Brady has his fifth.
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent?
Specifically, if you played the rest of that interview, he said he didn't know if we would be able to get along with them better, but the president's top priority is to hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source. We have a common interest with Russia to do that.
What do you make, Iron Mike, Coach Ditka, of this crusade on the part of some sports journalists to get Tom Brady to denounce his friend Donald Trump?
Well, I think these people are, can I say this? That they're
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Amid all the silliness coming from Senate Minority Leader Pagliacci and Nancy Pelosi and the whole gang, some important conversations and testimony was lost last week, at least in terms of coverage by the D.C. press corps. I want to make notation of it. General David Petraeus and John McLaughlin, two former CIA directors, testified before the House Armed Services Committee on sort of an important topic, national security threats and challenges facing the United States of America.
Didn't see it anywhere.
Right. General Petraeus summarized the threats facing America and facing, obviously, the Trump administration thusly.
The international order that America created is now under unprecedented threat from multiple directions, including by increasingly capable revisionist powers, that is, countries dissatisfied with the status quo, by Islamic extremist organizations that want to destroy our way of life, and by technologies and tactics that are reducing America's capacity to defend ourselves and our interests. As important as those various threats are, however, the world order has also been undermined by something perhaps even more pernicious: a loss of self-confidence, resolve, and strategic clarity on America's part about our vital interest in preserving and protecting the system we sacrifice so much to bring into being and have sacrificed so much to preserve.
Really interesting for Petraeus to underscore all of the physical threats with essentially a psychological one, our ambivalence, our lack of self-confidence, as he said. And he also made specific mention of something that Bret Stephens and others have written about, the emerging dictators club.
In particular, we see several countries, including Iran, Russia, and China, now working to establish a kind of sphere of influence over their respective near abroads, which include areas of vital strategic importance to the U.S. and where we have allies and partners to whom we are bound by shared interests and values.
Yeah, so that kind of is in response to a lot of the knee-jerk Trump apologists who say, what has Putin ever done to us? He poses a geopolitical, and Russia poses a geopolitical threat, particularly in concert with other dictator allies. For more on this topic and others related to national security, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Jed Babin, former United States Deputy Undersecretary of Defense and a contributor to the Washington Times, American Spectator, many publications throughout his illustrious career. Jed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Great to be back.
So what about the first part of what Petraeus said, underscoring our lack of resolve, our lack of self-confidence, the danger of American ambivalence?
Well, I think it's entirely right, at least in the way he said it, more correctly the way you said it. We have lost confidence in ourselves, our confidence in our culture, and frankly, our way of life. Our Constitution is threatened by a lot of different enemies, most notably Sharia separatism and Sharia supremacism that my friend Andy McCarthy writes about all the time. But General Petraeus, although he is a brilliant man, I think looks at things through the eyes of someone who has been in the particular jobs he's been in. He's tried to create nation building in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's failed miserably. He was the author of our nation-building strategy, and I think we have to take his words in that context. The basic point here is that the world order has already been upset. The world order, which is described very well in Henry Kissinger's book by that very same name, is being toppled by revolutionary powers. Iran is not just a Shia supremacist power. It is a revolutionary power aiming at toppling over the Westphalian order that's existed since 1648. So those are nations that present a different kind of threat and not only wish to threaten and to disrupt the world order that we've established since World War II. Those nations intend to end it and intend to bring out a whole different system of the world. And we have to deal with them accordingly. And frankly, we are not.
Well, in hopes of keeping American citizens safe, I mean, Trump's immigration order, the travel ban, are you for it or against it?
Oh, I'm for it. It's clearly legal. The president has the power to do it. It is well within his plenary power within the Constitution. And, of course, you have now the Seattle court and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals going to be dealing with it. And, of course, that's a good form selection by the plaintiffs to topple it over. I think Mr. Trump will win in the end. How many people, thousands of people, are going to get in under the relief of the court order that may pose a danger to the United States? We just don't know. It's a very, very dangerous thing the courts have done. Trump will win in the end, but he may frankly not win until Neil Gorsuch gets out of the Supreme Court, because right now it's going to go to the Supreme Court. It will soon anyway, and you've got a 4-4 tie.
Right. On the going back to what Petraeus was talking about, the revolutionary powers, as you talked about, the Dictators Club that is coming together in various forms and fashions depending on the particular geostrategic interests. Putin is part of that. And Trump's comments yesterday in that interview with Bill O'Reilly about Putin, not just that he doesn't want to take out after Putin rhetorically, I can understand that to some extent. But the rationalizing, not taking an aggressive rhetorical posture with Putin by suggesting that America is not so innocent either.
I think that is probably the biggest mistake Mr. Trump has made so far. It's probably the biggest mistake he's going to make in the coming months. I certainly hope it is. But for him to equate the United States and our system of freedom with a country which has, under Vladimir Putin, assassinated journalists, conquered other nations and its neighbors, attacked by cyber warfare, us and everybody else in the world that it was, they thought necessary to attack. The moral equivalence is just simply flat wrong. And Mr. Trump, by so doing, by saying that, puts himself at risk of being lumped in among the people that Joseph Stalin used to call useful idiots.
Yeah, I mean, right. And not to mention what Putin has done as dictator of Russia. Let's not forget, I know you don't, but from whence Putin comes. He was a Cold Warrior for the Soviets, a KGB. I mean, it really is an incredibly indefensible comment that Trump made.
Well, it is. It's totally indefensible, and some of the other actions he's taken. Don't forget, we had last week, was it, or 10 days ago? I forget precisely when it happened. Don't hold me to the date. But the Trump administration decided that it was going to lessen the sanctions against the new FSB, which is the replacement, the son of the KGB, in Russia. What they're saying is American companies that want to do business in Russia, such as selling computers there, selling software there, selling cell phones there, can deal with the FSB in order to get licenses to do that. That's, of course, been banned so far. And Mr. Trump lessened the sanctions and allowed people to do business. Now, getting a license from the FSB / KGB, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't mean that you're going to go to the counter, fill out a form, and hand them $10 and get your permit stamped. It means that you're going to submit your computer codes and allow them pretty much entry into whatever you're doing in order to get their sales approval. So that's the kind of thing that we should never be doing, giving the Russians, more tools to hack us and the rest of the world with. And I think that's, what Mr. Trump did with that was frankly very strange and very damaging.
Yeah, and it was disappointing and insulting to many Americans. Do you think that he should apologize, or do you think somebody could get to him and tell him what Putin's really all about, that he's a murderous dictator?
Well, I don't think he should apologize because I don't think he's capable of apologizing. I think at this point, some people, maybe Secretary Mattis, maybe Vice President Pence, a couple of people need to sit down with him and say, you got to knock this junk off, and you need to start calling Putin for what he is. And if you don't, maybe we resign. It's the kind of thing that he is not going to respond to. Mr. Trump's not going to respond to unless somebody really sits down with him and say, there's consequences to you keep doing this. And it's going to be very bad for our country, and you need to stop it. Now, and I don't know what else they could do.
Now, on the flip side, some, I would argue, positive developments in the world of national security and foreign affairs. Trump moved on around with more sanctions after they yet again violated this unholy pathway to nuclear weapons deal the Obama administration inked with them. And in addition to that, Carolyn Glick had an interesting piece, she, of course, of the Jerusalem Post, writing about Trump's posture towards Middle East peace. And she writes, the Trump administration's shunning of the PLO is a marked departure from the policies of its predecessor. And she goes on to say, while Trump occasionally pays lip service to making peace in the Middle East, his real goal is to win the war against jihadist Islam, and he rightly views Israel as a woefully underutilized strategic ally that shares his goal and is well placed to help him achieve that. With respect to Iran, with respect to the Middle East, as Carolyn Glick writes, do you subscribe to a positive movement in those regions of the world?
Well, yes and no. I've read Carolyn's piece. I know her. She's very, very smart and a very good writer. But I think she's putting a little bit of a rosy tint on her glasses, looking at what Trump is saying. Okay. That piece appeared several days after he issued a statement saying that Israel shouldn't be announcing more settlements on the West Bank. So, Mr. Trump, I think, is generally right, and I'm hoping that he is going to really bolster our relationship with Israel. Mr. Netanyahu is coming here, I think, late this month or early next month for a White House visit, and I think that's going to be a great opportunity. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And Mr. Trump, I mean, like in so many things, he blows hot and cold. And I think he really needs to settle down on a policy that is going to clearly ally ourselves with Israel again, which Mr. Obama, of course, broke up.
He is Jed Bambitt, former United States Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, contributor to the Washington Times. Jed, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, hit or miss on those Super Bowl commercials. Quite a game. Forecast, though, sunshine right now. It's going to be nice until late this afternoon. We'll have a spotty drizzle, a high of 47 degrees. Then tomorrow, pretty much more the same. Some morning fog, rain in the afternoon, and a high of 50 degrees. Let's get to it. Our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and the king of his castle. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, thank you, Amy. Good morning. A crash on the outbound ride at 18th, which happened early this morning, still has the exit ramp blocked, and it's still making for a miserable commute on the inbound Kennedy. Delays start at Austin. The Kennedy runs an hour and a half from O'Hare to downtown. An hour and 4 minutes from Montrose, 56 minutes in the Express. Outbound 39 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Edens is 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound is 22. The Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 44 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 19. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is really heavy, too. 39 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. It's really slow, Hollywood to North Avenue. Northbound Tri-State slow from Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Roosevelt to North Avenue. The other tollways are fairly light. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hello, hello. Well, have you thought about what you're getting that special someone in your life for Valentine's Day this year? Well, forget the roses and candy and take your Valentine to Punta Cana. Join Dan, Amy, Joe Walsh in Punta Cana, courtesy of our friends over there at Apple Vacations. We'll be staying at the Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa. Check it out online. It's gorgeous. It opened just a few months ago. Has all the bells and whistles. 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars, adults only, sparkling pools, and access to pristine beaches. So get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com, keyword passport. And right now you can enter for a chance to win a free trip exclusively by downloading and launching the AM560 mobile app. Just go to 560theanswer.com/mobile or text the word app to 64636 to get the AM560 mobile app and enter for your chance to win. Buena suerte.
Geico presents a voicemail from your friend, Tree.
Tree here. Just calling to say thanks for letting me crash at your place the other night. Well, on your place. It was a rough night. I had a bit too much wind, and I think I might have broke your chimney, actually. So, yeah. Any chance you'd want to drop off my tire swing? Yeah. I mean, if not, that's cool. Okay, later.
Trees won't pay for tree damage. Luckily, one call to the Geico Insurance Agency makes it easy to switch and save on homeowners insurance.
In winter, you can practically hear your skin changing. Drying out, flaking, tightening, becoming itchy, irritated, and inflamed. You need the fast relief of Cortisone 10 Intensive Healing Anti-Itch Cream. Unlike regular lotions, Cortisone 10 relieves itch and irritation with 1% hydrocortisone, the strongest non-prescription itch medicine, plus 7 healing moisturizers. With Cortisone 10, no more fight! Winter can just sound fun again. Cortisone 10. Feel the heal. Use as directed.
There's bound to be a good reason when a local startup company becomes an industry leader in only 5 years. Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting achieved this success by offering highly skilled professional services at highly competitive prices. Business owners, project managers, field supervisors, and procurement managers from many of Chicagoland's top companies depend on Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting. They specialize in industrial, heavy highway, and commercial projects requiring concrete cutting, core drilling, as well as wall, slab, chain, wire, and ring sawing. Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting will complete your project on time and on budget. Demolition and sealing services such as silicone and hot tar are also available. For an estimate or questions about your project needs, call Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting, the cutting edge in concrete cutting today at 773-282-2CUT. That's 773-282-2288. Or visit ChicagoCutConcreteCutting.com.
Spark ideas for spring home improvement at the Old House New House Home Show, February 10th through 12th at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Discover the latest in kitchens, baths, basements, additions, and landscaping. Meet experts on roofing, waterproofing, window treatments, painting, tile, closets, windows, doors, flooring, and more. Discover displays from 300 award-winning contractors, creative craftsmen, and talented designers at the Old House New House Home Show. Enjoy inspiring workshops on designing your dream kitchen, beautiful bathrooms, and the Sherwin-Williams paint color forecast. Explore decorating style school with the DIY playbook and meet Mr. Fix-It, Lou Manfredini. Adult admission is $7, senior admission is $4, and parking is free. A portion of the ticket sales benefits the Habitat for Humanity. Update, renovate, and revitalize your home with the Old House New House Home Show, February 10th through 12th at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. For tickets and event details, visit KennedyProductions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So what was your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
It wasn't during the Super Bowl. The best Super Bowl commercial was the one that told the truth about the Humane Society. And here's the truth about the Humane Society, and did it in a very entertaining way.
Every day, thousands of lawyers and lobbyists around the country find themselves out of work and unemployed. These lawyers don't have a vacation home. For just $19 a month, you can join the Humane Society of the United States in our fight to hire more lawyers. People often think that we run pet shelters, but that simply isn't true. We don't run a single one, and we only give 1% of your money to pet shelters. Our real goal is to get the government to pass laws that eliminate farms with animals. We're basically PETA, with suits and deodorant. Your $19 a month will help us hire even more lawyers and lobbyists. Our massive fundraising operation collected $130 million last year. But we need more. If these lawyers could talk, they'd tell you they desperately need you to help them right now.
Yeah, people who don't know better about the Humane Society don't do any due diligence. Now you know the Humane Society is to animal shelters what Planned Parenthood is to prenatal care, which is to say that's not their business. They just front that business because it's easy to pull heartstrings and raise money off of that pretense and profile. That ad nails Humane Society, and so the more you know, Amy.
Oh, yeah. And what we're knowing this morning is that those businesses, Dan, that promoted products and also tried to push a political agenda, such as Budweiser, such as Coca-Cola, such as Audi, there's a lot of pushback this morning. They're they had more dislikes than likes when they were monitoring crowds and what their reactions were to Super Bowl commercials. But the Audi one, really, this is just, it's almost unbearable.
What do I tell my daughter? Do I tell her that her grandpa's worth more than her grandma? That her dad is worth more than her mom? Do I tell her that despite her education, her drive, her skills, her intelligence, she will automatically be valued as less than every man she ever meets?
You get the gist of it. And she's is a boxcar derby, and she ends up winning the race, of course, and saying that maybe I'll have a different message for it. But it's just a propaganda piece for feminists.
Right. It's the flunkies at Audi who failed Econ 101. But they're just PC sophists, by the way. No women on Audi's board.
Not one woman on their board of directors.
Yeah, social justice warriors.
We got to tweet that out.
By the way, so the big takeaways from the Super Bowl advertisements.
Yeah.
Don't donate to the Humane Society. Don't buy an Audi.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance. But they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Hey guys, 2 words you never thought you'd hear together: flirty and flannel. Yes, introducing the flirty flannel pajamas. The experts at Pajamagram took the warm flannel that she loves and made it into a sexy PJ that you'll love too. Soft, warm flannel with a inviting look and feel that is seductive, fun, and flirty. Who knew flannel could be this sexy? Now these pajamas reinvent classic flannel with a flirty twist just for you. Delivery is guaranteed by Valentine's Day if you want to get her a pajamagram, but you must order now. Visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. Say goodbye to boring flannel PJs and say hello to flirty flannel pajamas exclusively at pajamagram.com. And you don't even have to wrap, because every pajamagram includes free gift packaging. Delivery is guaranteed, so visit pajamagram.com. Or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs and please tell them that Dan and Amy sent you. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trump appoints Pence to a voter fraud commission. We'll discuss with John Fund at National Review at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
We have sunshine right now. A few high clouds, 31 degrees. Justice Department has until 5 o'clock Chicago time to file briefs in a lawsuit against President Donald Trump's administration ban on refugees and travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim countries. Senator Dianne Feinstein says the president's ban and restrictions are, in her words, unconstitutional.
The federal court has a right to make a judgment whether a law or an order is lawful and constitutional, and that process has begun.
Feinstein on Fox News Sunday. Lawyers for Washington State and Minnesota have filed that suit. They've already told a federal appellate court in San Francisco that restoring the ban, as they called it, would unleash chaos again. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is hoping to talk about Iranian weapons and not Israeli settlements when he meets with British Prime Minister Theresa May in London today. Officials in Afghanistan say avalanches triggered by heavy snowfall have killed 119 in recent days. Authorities in Mississippi say an argument at a nightclub in Yazoo City has led to the shooting deaths of 4. It happened early this morning. Yes, that was a meteor we are seeing on dash cam video from police squad cars in Lisle and Morton Grove, visible for a long distance over 4 states, according to the National Weather Service. Gun violence continues to plague Chicago. 2 young teens were killed, 10 others wounded by gunshots over the weekend. A Roselle man facing charges for allegedly leaving a bomb at an Airbnb in Chicago. Michael DeBrown was renting a room and wasn't getting along with his hosts on the west side. When one of the homeowners found the pipe bomb, they called police. Police then evacuated that home and 2 other nearby buildings. Bulls back in action tonight, visiting Sacramento. Jimmy Butler did not practice. He's highly questionable for tonight's game. Patriots beat the Falcons in overtime for your Super Bowl 51 win. The news, a service of Staples. Are you trying to acquire new customers for your business? Staples Print and Marketing Services helps you promote your business with low prices on presentation, signs, pens, mugs, and more. Right now, you can get 15% off custom signs and banners. Ends 3/24. See an associate for details. Staples, make more happen. 8:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells the left to keep quiet.
We keep hearing about what we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. That's become the left's mantra all of a sudden. I love them telling us who we are. You know who we are? We're a country that elected the person you didn't want to win. Who we are is not who you wanted us to be.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Tossing and turning, sleeping hot? Serta redesigned its Perfect Sleeper to help solve 5 common sleep problems. Put your sleep problems to rest. Hurry in for President's Day savings. Serta, always comfortable.
I own a fast food restaurant that was broken into early this morning. They tore the alarm panel right off the wall, and alarm detection systems came in the same day to replace it.
Same-day service is available to all of our customers. Never worry about your security system. Get to know Alarm Detection Systems. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
I'm living alone for the first time in 40 years, and I'm worried something might happen to me.
Live independently with a medical alert device from Alarm Detection Systems. Setup is easy, and 24/7 emergency assistance monitoring is included. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is just brutal thanks to an early morning crash on the outbound ride at 18th, which still has the exit to 18th blocked. Play started Foster. It is an hour and 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown, an hour and 8 minutes from Montrose, 59 minutes in the Express, outbound 33 minutes to O'Hare. Eden's 21 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Eisenhower, an hour and 13 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 55 minutes from Manheim, outbound 47 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound it's fine. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 20. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, stop and go Lawrence to North Avenue, then slow 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Tri-State, heavy Ogden to 31st, and from the Reagan to North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Providing the right climate for business since 1935. Sun this morning, clouds midday, about a 20% chance of rain later this afternoon, high 47. More rain and drizzle overnight, low 42. Currently 31. Next news at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. You think it's tough to be a conservative in Chicago, Amy? Think about being a conservative in the San Francisco Bay Area.
They have them over there?
They do. They meet at undisclosed locations with secret handshake and assumed names. And I'm not really engaged in hyperbole here. They were profiled on local news station in San Francisco conservatives.
Some East Bay conservatives tell me they live a secret life, never able to tell anyone how they really feel politically, in fear for their safety. Do you feel like continuing to be a Bay Area conservative, you have to do it in secret?
Yes. Well, just for my personal safety, my physical safety, I better keep my mouth shut.
Robert Ward is coming out conservative, but in a place he says is risky for those who share his beliefs.
If you witnessed what happened in Berkeley, there's so violence on top of it. I mean, being a conservative in the Bay Area, it's like being a heretic. Like you lead a double life. You can never tell your friends, your coworkers.
Robert told me several Bay Area conservatives here have secret meetups, like this one we got invited to in the East Bay. Organizers asked us not to disclose their location or the faces of anyone who attended, but told us this is the way it has to be in a liberal state.
They seem to pride themselves on being diverse, and they're diverse about everything except their ideology.
No, isn't that true?
So well said.
Isn't that true? In Berkeley, the birthplace and resting place of the campus free speech movement. We saw it die last week. We're all for diversity right up until the point of disagreement. Also, a related story, the issue of voter fraud. It came up in O'Reilly's interview with Trump. It also came up in Mike Pence's interview on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. Trump saying to O'Reilly that despite the reports last week that he was kind of walking back on an executive order to investigate voter fraud on a national scale, that that, in point of fact, is not the truth, that Trump is going to look into voter fraud, and he's appointing Mike Pence to do it.
Forget that. Forget all of that. Just take a look at the registration, and we're going to do it. And I'm going to set up a commission to be headed by Vice President Mike Pence, and we're going to look at it very, very carefully.
Well, that's good.
All right, and now we're happy to be joined by John Fund. He is a contributor to and the National Affairs columnist for National Review, nationalreview.com. He's also, along with Hans von Spakovsky, from Heritage Foundation, one of the gentlemen who's written most extensively about voter fraud in this country. John Fund, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you.
So what about the claim that Trump made that was challenged again by O'Reilly in that Super Bowl interview about 3 to 4 million people who voted who shouldn't have voted? Is he directionally right, even if he can't substantiate that number? Give us your take on Trump's pronouncements about voter fraud.
3 quick points. One, no, I don't think Donald Trump is right that there are 3 to 5 million illegal voters and they all voted for Hillary. 2, that doesn't mean he doesn't have an important point. Is there anyone in your listening audience, anyone, who doesn't believe there's a voter fraud problem in Chicago and some other parts of Illinois?
Right.
Is there anyone who doesn't believe that? Of course there is. We don't know the third point is we don't know the size of it because for 8 years the Obama administration has deliberately withheld from states any information which would tell us what the size of the potential problem is. For example, the Department of Homeland Security, they have a list of every single legal alien in this country, green card holders, etc. They have refused requests from the states for 8 years to get that list so they can compare to their voter registration lists and find out if any of those people are voting. I could go on and on with the obstructionist tactics of the Obama administration. The bottom line is we need an investigation to see how much of a problem there is, and anyone who doesn't want an investigation is playing hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
All right. Donald Trump today is immigration order. It's round 2 for that. Your thoughts on it, and can you prove to me how this is in accordance with the Constitution?
Well, I think it's unfortunate that Donald Trump rushed this out without proper vetting and consultation. He's a big fan of vetting. He didn't vet his own executive order well. Having said that, the judge in Washington State, who, by the way, may be a Bush appointee, but was only appointed to the bench because it was a trade with a liberal Democratic senator for a conservative judge. They had to have them go in like Noah's Ark one by one. The judge's order is preposterous and is going to be struck down even by the liberal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I believe that we should have a more responsible, restrained discussion about what should be our security concerns about immigration. And this executive order, unfortunately, has not led to that. It's led to more heat than light.
And so as you suggest, the courts ultimately uphold the president's power to do what he has done, Pence explained, look, the problem that we picked these 7 countries the same way that the Obama administration did, or took the intelligence work that was the predicate for the legislation President Obama signed December 2015, because they have internal vetting problems, and we can't trust that people coming from those countries are who they say they are. It's that simple. Is there a rationale behind the 90-day and 120-day time frame? People really believe that that is the necessary time to impose a vetting system that we can trust, or is that kind of arbitrary just to put a pause on this for right now?
Oh, I think 90 days is probably as good a time as any. I'm not a security expert. I don't have a problem with the kind of executive order this is, but the kind of chaos and the kind of confusion and the kind of, well, it discredits other things that Trump may try to do in the future. So I don't think it's the most important thing that we have to do in the war on terror, and I hope that the next time that Trump does something, it's in such a way that his supporters can more easily defend it, more easily explain it, and you don't have all of this chaos swirling around it, caused in part by the White House just not having its act together.
Did you expect that the controversy surrounding this will inhibit some discussions that have kind of bubbled into news outlets that they're looking at more executive orders in the realm of immigration with respect to social service benefits and the like for people who come to this country? Are those going to be shelved because of how this is played out?
Well, I hope they're not shelved, but the Trump administration is getting its sea legs. I understand that every administration starts out with a little rusty, and it doesn't quite know exactly where to go and where the bathrooms are. I'm just saying, if you're going to pursue this, and you don't want protests in the streets every single day distracting from the rest of your agenda, just get it done right on the first go.
All right. Before the Super Bowl yesterday, Bill O'Reilly sat down with President Trump, and asked a question and an answer that people are still talking about this morning when his rosy relationship with Putin, and Trump said there's a lot of killers, we've got a lot of killers. And what, do you think our country's so innocent? Do you think that he's insinuating that what goes on in Russia under Putin's control is what's going on here in America?
I don't know exactly what the president meant. I do know that this is an example of how candidate Trump had so much success speaking off the cuff as a candidate, has got to adjust himself to a new reality. When President Trump says something, people take it very, very seriously. He is speaking not just for candidate Trump, he's speaking for the entire United States of America. And I don't know what he meant, but it sure didn't sound good, and it verged on moral relativism, which is not something I want to hear from an American president.
Well, right, and the other thing, too, I mean, it's been interesting. We've had a running discussion all morning, of course, with people that are rallying to Trump's defense and trying to kind of redefine the English language in the light most favorable to Trump regarding those comments. But it seems to me, you would just go back and say, what would the reaction be from conservatives had President Obama said the same thing? Would we be talking about his apology tour and his disbelief in American exceptionalism and all the like?
Look, I think it's fair to say that there should be two watchwords for conservatives, and I hope especially the people who listen to this show. One is everyone in Washington, I mean everyone, watch what they do, not what they say. That means you don't always take Donald Trump seriously. However, words do have consequences. And when it comes to Donald Trump, the watchword should be our leader, right or wrong, no. Our leader, right or left, no. We support the president when he's right. We question him when we don't understand what he's saying, and we say he's wrong when he's wrong. That is the way to be a patriot. That is not. We don't want blind partisanship now. We want patriotism, and we want someone who, while he may not have started out in life as a conservative, we are going to hold him to some conservative principles.
Well said, and that's why he is the national affairs columnist for National Review, nationalreview.com. John Fund, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Plenty of sunshine today. We will have some spotty drizzle. I don't know why that term bothers me. By this afternoon, a high of 47 degrees. And then tonight, we're going to have occasional rain and drizzle, a low of 42. And for Tuesday, considerable cloudiness with a touch of rain, areas of morning fog, but a little bit warmer, a high of 50 degrees. Wow. Anything spectacular on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte, who is in charge now of the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Good morning, Jim.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. There's nothing spotty about traffic on your inbound Kennedy. It's just a solid mess. An earlier crash on the outbound Ryan at 18th is finally cleared, and that ramp is reopened, but the damage is done to the inbound Kennedy. An hour and 32 minutes O'Hare to downtown. An hour and 8 minutes from Montrose. 59 minutes in the Express. Outbound 33 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes Lake Hook to the junction. Outbound it's 22. The Eisenhower an hour and 11 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 47 minutes. Northbound I-55 jammed Veterans Parkway to before 355 with a crash in the two right lanes. And it's an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Running a business can be challenging, especially in Illinois. You face mountains of regulations on top of mountains of taxes and fees, and tax hikes may be coming again. Business owners who manage to survive and thrive deserve to be recognized, and that's exactly what we here at AM 560 The Answer are going to do. This spring, we'll be hitting the road on the AM 560 Business Tour presented by Signature Bank. Wednesday, we're at ServiceMaster in Downers Grove. It's a way for us to celebrate local businesses who are overcoming the odds and succeeding in spite of the many challenges they face. Think of it as making businesses great again. We want to give back to the business community by broadcasting this show live from various locations throughout Chicagoland. Does your business have a great success story? If so, we want to hear about it. Go to 560theanswer.com/business. Fill out the brief form to tell us about how you and your business are beating the odds to serve your clients and your community. We'll select several businesses as stops on our AM 560 Business Tour, and we'll broadcast from your location to share your success with our audience. So go to 560theanswer.com/business to tell us your story. That's 560theanswer.com/business. And we may be stopping at your location this spring on the AM 560 Business Tour, sponsored by Signature Bank.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
You've saved for retirement but aren't sure what to do with your savings. You need to make it work for you and make it last. The Alpha Wealth Group has cutting-edge programs designed to help you identify the challenges surrounding retirement. They'll help you create a clear picture and roadmap for your future, how to maintain your present standard of living and make your money last. So don't wait until you're left without options. Get answers you need in a free report, 5 Simple Steps to a Stress-Free Retirement. This invaluable report is from Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group here in Chicago. Tom is the host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturdays at 9 a.m. on AM 560 for the past 8 years, and has been featured in Fortune and on Fox Business. Are you ready to get serious about your retirement? Call the Alpha Wealth Group now for your free report, 5 Simple Steps to a Stress-Free Retirement, at 800-748-3185. That's 800-748-3185. Or visit alphawealthgroup.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah. Best Super Bowl game ever. That epic comeback. 25 unanswered points.
Toss to White. He's in. Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Isn't it great, Dan?
Brady has his 5th. What a comeback.
Maybe it wasn't so good for you because you made a bet with me.
I did.
And you lost your bet.
I lost my $1, the Duke Brothers bet that we make in every big sporting event. Here's the thing, though.
Yes.
It's a silver lining because hate can bring people together in search of love.
Oh, so Pats fans and Falcons fans can find love?
Well, no.
If they hate something else?
People who hate, well, yes, right, if they have hate in common.
Uh-huh.
So with Valentine's Day right around the corner, I think it's Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
A week from Wednesday.
No, it's...
Wait, no.
Oh, yeah, it's a week. Is it a week from Wednesday?
Yes.
When is it?
Dan.
When's Valentine's Day? Is it in February?
It's this thing called February 14th.
14th.
$18.2 billion business, by the way.
So it's a week from tomorrow.
Yes.
And in time for Valentine's Day, there's a new app called Hater that bills itself as helping you to meet someone who hates the same stuff you hate. So perhaps you come together by hating Tom Brady.
Oh, or
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, or perhaps you can come together by hating all the liberals out there.
Exactly.
This sounds like a great app for one Dan Proft.
There's
This is good. This has potential. Do you have to list the objects or people that you hate the most, and alphabetical order.
Well, that's how you build your profile.
Okay.
You're asked to swipe in different directions to indicate if you love, hate, like, dislike, or indifferent to a person, activity, or concept. Hater then builds a profile of its users based on their opinions and starts collecting them with haters who hate the same things that you hate.
Oh.
See?
Not a whole lot of love there, huh?
Well, the saying that love makes the world go round,
yeah.
This app is putting that to the test.
Haters gonna hate. Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy